Okay. Okay. Let's starting up my stream. Hold on, everyone. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Hey, guys. I said I'd start the stream a lot earlier today, and I did. How are you doing? I'm doing good. How are you, Rail? Oh, I just didn't have time, D. I just been busy with just so many projects. Oh, happy birthday, HXLD Spawns? When's the next Mafia 2 video? You mean Mafia 3? I'm still gonna do the Jimmy DLCs, but Mafia 3 next video will be tomorrow. I'm gonna have a video once I finish Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6 only has one part left. I'll have a Mafia 3 video every day because it'll be easier because it'll be one less playthrough to do. So I'll be able to focus more on Mafia 3 and be able to put those out as well as the Ghost of Yote videos. Okay, okay, hold on. Let me, Toxic, I'm gonna help Pearson first, because he invited me. And then I can help you. Okay? Have I finished Battlefield 6 campaign? No, I got one mission left. Hey, Mr. Devil Gaming, thank you for sponsoring my channel for nearly 4 years. Thank you. What's the best heist to do, Professional? I think it's the casino heist right now. Yeah, I think it's casino heist. Yeah, today is New Vegas' 15th anniversary. Here's to a fun stream. Thank you, Random Fist. Thank you. Infiltrate the deal. Oh, we're sourcing cargo. Okay, I guess he's going for the jet. Love your channel forever, Pat. Thank you, Ant. What are you doing today? Just gonna have fun, stream, help some people out, sell some things. Have I ever been to Ireland? No, I have not. My first name is Patrick. I guess I have an Irish name, but I've never been to Ireland. No, but I'm not Irish. Hey, bro, sorry I couldn't make your stream on Friday. You got on too late, so I went to bed. It's okay, Shiny Knight. It was my bad. I had a lot of stuff to do, but today we started earlier, and then Friday we'll start earlier again, and then also this week we're gonna do a Battlefield 6 stream. We'll do one this week. Do you know when you'll be done with the Mafia series? I'm gonna try to finish it before Liberty City Stories anniversary, but I might not make it to it. We'll see. Pro, you're Polish American, not Irish American. I know. I'm not Irish. I never said I was Irish. I just said that I have an Irish name, but I'm not Irish. Well, what the? I know I had that text-to-speech thing on in Battlefield 6. I know it's weird. I gotta turn it off. It is weird. Yeah. It's okay, Pierce. You don't have to apologize. Can I play Ready or Not? I'm thinking about giving that game a try. Do I think Donovan will appear in Mafia 4? It's possible. A lot of people are saying Mafia 4 will be in Las Vegas, so I guess we'll see if it's gonna be there. Which update in GTA is your favorite? The older updates, my favorite older update is Bikers. My favorite newer update is Cayo Perico. Yeah, I did play Saboteur. Okay, Brandon. Have you ever gone to a war history museum? Yeah, I've been to one in Bismarck, North Dakota. How's your game looking so sharp? I guess it just is. And also, I gotta turn off the, I still have fidelity mode on, don't I? Oh, damn, hang on. Move my camera, see if I... Yeah, performance on, we'll have that. Game will run a lot better like this, too. Hey, I got a question for you first. Do you think that China and US will go to war anytime soon? And two, do you think that a lot of non-political channels like Penguin Zero have gone super political in recent months? Charlie, you're talking about Charlie, that guy with long hair, right? I don't really know much about him. I know he does videos similar to me, like the crazy current event videos where he like reacts to things, you know, talks about it. I know he does that. You know, he does a series like that. As for the political stuff he does, I have no idea about that. But as for the first part of your question, do you think the US and China will go to war anytime soon? No, I don't think so. The thing is that... Here's the thing, what people don't understand. China does not have the resources to invade America, and America does not have the resources to invade China. Neither country does. I don't think that, you know, they're gonna go to a war. I don't think it's gonna happen. Well, what the... Are you going to do any of the old Bond games? Yes, I did From Russia with Love. I did that 5 years ago, Samuel. If you look up From Russia with Love on my channel, you'll see it. Would I ever collaborate with big-time streamers? I've heard of that iShow Speed guy, but I haven't heard of that other guy you're talking about. That guy, I don't know who that is, the second guy. Will I replay Liberty City Stories for the 20th anniversary? Yes. Would a war bankrupt both countries? Yes, 100%. A war between China and America would bankrupt both countries. Here's what a lot of people don't know. Countries today cannot raise a large army like they could back in the day. So, like, for example, during World War II, every single country during World War II was able to have millions of soldiers. Almost every country, like, you know, Britain, you know, Germany, you know, France, you know, Russia, Soviet Union, I should say, and then, you know, Poland. You know, all of these countries had actually millions of soldiers at one point. So they had, like, you know, fairly large armies. China, also Japan. The reason that countries were able to have such large armies back in the day was because back then it was actually fairly cheap to actually make a very large army, because back then all the soldier would carry is like their uniform, their helmet, you know, maybe some gear like, you know, a backpack, like, you know, a sleeping sack, and you know, some tools, maybe like a cup to make coffee and food, and their rifle and maybe a grenade or two, and that's it. Like today, the average soldier carries today like 10 times more in equipment value than the average World War II soldier did. Like, just think about the Kevlar vest, the helmets are way more expensive, their clothes are way more expensive, their uniforms are, the flashlights they carry, the night vision goggles, the thermal, just think about their gun itself. The guns are way more expensive, all the optics on their guns, the red dot sight, the holographic sight, all of that stuff, that costs so much money just to equip one soldier. And so, literally, it's going to cost 10 times more to equip one soldier than it would 10 soldiers in World War II. So, basically, yeah, is that, you know, countries cannot, you know, form these giant, large armies like they could back in the day today. A smaller retail store for a pharmacy, also animal skins. Thank you, Carboy, for that super chat. I hope I answered your question. Is griefing allowed? Not my servers, no. But our country's much richer now? Sure. But they still, here's the thing is, imagine two large superpowers going to war. Like, a superpower can go to war with a smaller country today, but two superpowers going to war, it would bankrupt both of them. Both of them would go bankrupt. I wish Maguire was in Mafia the Old Country after the credits. Oh, thank you, Tommy Angelo, for the super chat. Maguire? Maguire? Who's Maguire again? Can you remind me? What's wrong, D? Thank you, Tommy Angelo, for the super chat. Thanks, dude. I'm gonna do another play for Red Dead, yes. Maguire was the guy from Mafia 3. Which guy? That told the story of Mafia 3, Am I able to tell the difference between 30 and 60 FPS? Yeah, I can. This is 60 FPS that we're playing on. And I played on a lot of games at 30 FPS, so I kinda can tell. Will I make Liberty City lore videos? I kind of did already. I made one on Tony Cipriani and, you know, what happens to him after Liberty City stories. But or GTA 3. But, is there, like, any others that I could make on it? I'd have to think about that. Okay, hold on a second. I'm getting a Phantom Wedge here. Damn it. Why is it spawning all the way over there? Okay. Do you think shouting in stores pranks is funny? No, I think it's stupid. People do a lot of really dumb things as pranks these days in stores. Oh, a Phantom Wedge? Oh. Okay, they have it, Shouting in stores pranks are funny, dude. Maybe you think it's funny, I just don't think it's funny. Thank you, Kevin. I'm glad you enjoyed my Battlefield 6 video. You also did a lore video on Salvatore's Paranoia. Yeah, you're right on that. I did that one, too. Why did I stay in retail for 6 years? That's stupid. Well, to be honest, I'm not even going to take offense in your comment. I actually agree with it. I do think it was stupid that I stayed 6 years in retail. I shouldn't have stayed 6 years in retail. It was stupid, I will agree with you. I guess I was just working really hard, hoping that I would get a raise, hoping it would, you know, I was scared to work anywhere else at the same time, too. I was scared I wouldn't know how to do it. I knew to do my tasks so well in retail, and I was just scared about working anywhere else. I can watch it on the exclusive stream, yeah, animal skins. If I could add one thing to GTA Online, what would it be? Mansions. But we're getting that in December, so pretty much nothing else really I can think about adding. And there really wouldn't be a point, because GTA 6 is right around the corner. I mean, GTA 6 is going to come out, what, in, 6.5 months from now, so... Pro, what do you think is funny? I don't know, there aren't a lot of things that I do find funny. I will say this. I guess I have a different sense of humor than a lot of other people. If you want to know what I find funny, I find it funny when there's like really scummy people and something does not go their way. Like something just something goes wrong for them. So I kind of find that funny. So like if there's a scumbag and then something just goes like wrong for them, something goes bad for them, sometimes I kind of find that funny. Like what I'm talking about specifically is I'm talking about like those malicious compliance videos. Anybody know like those Reddit malicious compliance stories? Like where like people will like post on Reddit these crazy stories about how like they have a scumbag boss and they try to warn their boss about something bad happening and their boss doesn't listen to them, and then they follow their boss's orders to the letter, and then things just start going really bad for their boss, and things just start going really bad. That I kind of find funny. Karma, yeah, I guess it's karma. What do you mean by mansions? Rockstar hasn't said anything. Yes, they have. We're getting mansions in December. Rockstar has, I'm pretty sure Rockstar has confirmed it, or... Yeah, it has been... I think it was in a newswire. It was leaked, so we know it's coming out. We know it's... No, I don't think Rockstar has announced it. Yeah, I think you're right. Rockstar hasn't announced it, but it has been found in the in-game files, so we know it's coming. We know it's coming in December, so that's what we're gonna get in December, be the mansions. In Joe's Adventures, if the DA planned to take down Clemente, then why didn't the DA use Henry instead of Mazio, since Henry was a longer rat than him? They were probably going to use a combination of people. Mazio was one of the people. That's kind of the only thing I really didn't cover in my Henry video. I guess I should have kind of covered Mazio. That was kind of the mistake I made. I should have covered Mazio a little bit in that video. But the video was already long enough. I didn't want to go over 2 hours. But basically... Here's the thing is, one guy like Henry, I don't think one guy like Henry would be enough to bring down the whole organization. I think that Mazio would be part of it, yes. Hey Alfredo, hey Pro, what's your favorite character from Bully? For me, it's Zoe, Russell, and Petey, because they're loyal to Jimmy and help them to defeat Gary. Yeah, yeah, I liked most of Jimmy's friends. I liked that one teacher in Bully that was a drunk. I forget his name. He was like an alcoholic. He was funny. I liked him. But yeah, I liked it. Petey was in general a nice guy, but he was like really soft. Zoe, it was really horrible what happened to Zoe. Like, yeah, what happened to Zoe is just really horrible. And Russell was, Russell wasn't very intelligent, but he was loyal. That's what I'll say about Russell. Mr. Galloway, yeah, that was him. Pro, if you pass your driving test, do you recommend practicing more with your parents' car? What you mean? You mean if you pass and then you practice with your parents' car? I mean, if your parents let you use it, sure. But here's one thing I will tell you guys is when you get your license, don't think that just because you get your license that you are an expert driver. it takes several years for people to become like really good at driving. You know, sometimes even decades. But yeah, that is it. Some people, and I'm not saying this about you. I'm just saying that sometimes people get their licenses and they basically act like they are kings of the road. One of my former friends was like this. You know, he was a real narcissist, really arrogant about this. He got his license before the rest of us did in high school, and he acted like he was better than all of us. He showed off and he talked about how we were stupid that he got the license before us. It was also one of the reasons that this friendship collapsed, because he acted like that. But that was yeah, that was I knew a person like that. Did you hear about Moist Critical turning off donations? No, I didn't hear about that. What's that about? Will I ever play Metal Gear Solid 4? Well, I'm sorry I didn't see your comment. There's a lot of people uh, that are commenting. You're talking about the guy in Retail Vertigo? No. I don't want to. Oh, what is this? Will I ever play Metal Gear Solid 4? Yes, but I'm gonna do the Metal Gear Solid games in chronological order. I'd like to do Metal Gear Solid 4 as my final one. Why didn't Ernest tell Tommy about Lance Vance betraying him? I actually made a video about this. It was about how it was a lore video I made how Ernest knew that Lance was gonna betray Tommy. But what I will say is the reason that he didn't is because Ernest was not like a full member of the Vercetti family. Like, I guess he was a member. He was like the guy who was, you know, helping to run the print works. But you have to also remember that even though Ernest had doubts about Lance and he was pretty suspicious of Lance and he figured that Lance was going to betray Tommy, he didn't have concrete evidence that Lance was going to betray Tommy. And on top of that, it would be his word against Lance's word. And that would be very bad for him. And the thing is, in the Mafia, if you're going to make an accusation against somebody, you have to have 100% proof. You have to be 100% certain about something. And basically, it would be, you know, it would be Ernest accusing, you know, the boss's best friend, Lance, of an underboss of being, like, backstabbing him. So that's it. So, like, once Lance backstabbed, you know, Tommy, like, at the end of the game, Ernest, you know, called Tommy and he told him, you know, Tommy, for, like, a raging lunatic, you are pretty naive. That's what he said to him, because it was already done at that point. Lance was dead, so he could pretty much say what he wanted about Lance. So before that, that was, like, that's basically what I'll say about that, is that it would have been really bad. It was actually smart of Ernest to keep his mouth shut about that, because it would have been really bad if Ernest started talking about that. After GTA 6, would I rather Bully 2 or Red Dead Redemption 3? Actually, you know what game I really want? You know what game I really, really want? Another Rockstar game? Can anyone guess what Rockstar game I really would like next? To be the next sequel after GTA 6? Yeah, Manhunt 3. Yeah, Manhunt 3. That's the game. If you were to ask me what game I want next, Manhunt 3. And Manhunt 3, you know, it would be Manhunt 3 would be the perfect game for Rockstar to make after GTA 6. And the reason that it would be the perfect game for Rockstar to make is because Manhunt is in the same universe as GTA. Remember that. And so the next Manhunt game, it might not even be called Manhunt 3. It could just be called Manhunt. That's what it might Manhunt PS5. That is what it might be called. You know, stuff like that, the reboot. Because Manhunt 1 and 2 take place in the 3D universe. So it takes place in the 3D universe of you know, GTA Vice City, San Andreas, Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories, GTA 3. But it doesn't take place in the HD universe. So they could make another Manhunt game and have it set in the same HD universe as GTA 4, GTA 5, and GTA 6. That's what I would like to see. But unfortunately, is we probably won't ever see another Manhunt game. And the reason we probably will never see another Manhunt game is because of the political correctness. That is it. The political correctness, that is probably the main reason, is that people are too sensitive these days, and, like, Manhunt was very violent. And what I will say about the Manhunt games is I never even played the Manhunt games. You guys were the ones who got me into them. And I really like them. Out of all the games that you guys recommended me to play, I think Manhunt was the ones that I enjoyed the most. I liked all the games you guys recommended me, but I think it was Manhunt was the one that I enjoyed the most out of all the ones I played. Will he still play the Warriors, a Rockstar game? Oh yeah, Sal. I might try to get it before the end of the year too. But Manhunt 3 could start Eddie Low during GTA 4. Thank you for the super chat. Suspect 13. But I will tell you something. In Manhunt 3, I wanna play as kind of like a bad guy in Manhunt 3. I don't necessarily want the character to be like a pure evil character. But I want him not to be like a hero, not to be like a good guy. That's what I would like about the protagonist in the next Manhunt game. But I will say this, the craziest thing about Manhunt, and I mean, would you guys agree with me on this? Do you guys agree with me that the gangs in Manhunt make the gangs in GTA look like angels? Like they literally make the gangs in GTA look like nice people. The gangs in the GTA series are like nice people compared to the gangs in Manhunt. The gangs in Manhunt are like literally the most evil gangs. Like they're just pure evil. Like they are just such horrible people. Like even Martin Madrazo is a nice person compared to like the gangs in Manhunt. So that's what I'll say about it, is that those gangs were so psychotic. But I had a whole concept. I have a whole concept idea for like another Manhunt game. Like I have an idea for it, like the setting and everything like that. I like my idea for it. Uh, I would love to pitch it to Rockstar one day. I don't know if they would listen, but basically, if I was designing the next Manhunt game, you know where I would set it? I would set it in Alaska. That's where I would set it, because Alaska is not a place that you typically see in a lot of games. And for a horror game, because Manhunt kind of is a horror game, but when you think about it, Alaska would be a pretty good setting for a Manhunt game. Like the woods of Alaska, like, the mountains and forests at night of Alaska, stuff like that. And there could be like a mission where there's like a blizzard and you're trying to avoid like psychos and stuff like that during the blizzard and hide from them, and you gotta like try to survive and get warm and stuff like that. I think that Alaska would be like a perfect setting, like somewhere in the wilds of Alaska, like somewhere like small towns in Alaska and stuff like that. And the main character would probably be an Inuit Alaskan, which you don't really see many of them in video games. Like I know the Vulcan in Metal Gear Solid, I know he's an Alaskan Inuit, but you don't really see a lot of Alaskan Inuits in games. So I think like the main character could be like an American Alaskan Inuit. And like as for the gangs in like my Manhunt idea, like the gangs would be, you would have like this crazy doomsday survivalist militia that's like out in the woods, like these crazy militia guys, like kind of similar to the other gangs that you had in Manhunt 1, but it would be like a survivalist doomsday prepper militia gang. The other gangs that you could have in that game is you could have like an Inuit gang, and the Inuit gang, they would basically be kind of like dressed in like those old style, like traditional, like kind of like those furry Eskimo hoods, and they would be like a hunting gang, like primarily like that. So I think that would be like another gang. And I think another gang that we would have like a serial killer gang, and the serial killer gang would basically be something like the Smileys, but more like Alaska themed, where they would be wearing like big coats, but they would be wearing hockey masks. And then the other gang is and I was thinking about like a racist gang to put in the game, because all the other Manhunt games have had racist gangs. Like you had the the Skins, the neo-Nazis in Manhunt 1, and then you had the Bloodhounds, which were like a neo-Confederate KKK gang in Manhunt 2. So like the gang in Manhunt 3 could be like this racist biker gang. It would be like this crazy, violent, racist biker gang. You could do that. And then the final gang in the game, the last gang that you encounter, I think like the really militarized gang, like the really best armed gang, Russian mercenaries. I think that would be the best one, like Russian mercenaries. What they're doing in Alaska, I don't know, but I think that would be like the perfect final villain, like a Russian mercenary group, something like Cerberus, but like more Russian mercenaries, where they're wearing like night vision goggles, thermal. Like these guys are like really well equipped, and I think they would be the final antagonists. But that's basically my idea for like a Manhunt 3. Like, what do you guys think of that? Do you like that whole concept, that idea of it? But that's basically what I would do. As for the story, like, what's going on in the story, I haven't thought about that. Like, I just only came up with the setting, the character, and the gangs, but I haven't come up with, like, the story and what was going on exactly. No, Skull, Do I read chat? Yeah, I do. I was just explaining like my manhunt idea there. Did you see in Dallas, Texas recently a young woman shot and killed another woman who went full Karen on her after she didn't thank her for holding a door open while leaving a store? Would be a good current events video for you. So wait, a young woman shot and killed another woman who went full Karen on her. Wait, so who, Eric? Can you explain to me who shot who exactly? The Karen shot. Wait, so one person held the door open, and then the other person walked in. They didn't thank them, and then they shot them. Wait, who shot who exactly? Was it the person who held the door open, or the person who walked in? The Karen got shot. And the Karen was the one who originally held the door open, and then she started complaining when the person didn't thank them, and then the person shot them. You know, I saw this I saw this pretty disturbing video earlier today. I don't know if anybody ever watches Colleen Noir. I watch Colleen Noir a lot. He's a gun channel, but I watched a Colleen Noir video earlier today, and he was showing this video. It was like dash cam footage. It was a pretty disturbing video, but it was a self-defense case. There was this guy who this off-duty cop that was driving, and this guy cuts off the off-duty cop, like he cuts him off like right in front of him. And what happens is the off-duty cop, he scratches his bumper, like he hits his bumper a little bit because the guy cut him off and right in front of him. And then what happens is they both pull over, and when they both pull over, the guy who cut off the off-duty cop, he takes out his pistol, like he had a pistol, and he walked out and he pistol whipped that off-duty cop. And the off-duty cop he was carrying, and the off-duty cop drew his gun and shot the guy and killed him. It was self-defense, because the guy was complaining he hit him, and then he took out his pistol and pistol whipped him, and then the guy shot him. But it's on Colleen Noir's channel. I saw that earlier today, but that was another story that I heard about recently. How about a contract killing gang? Well, the contract killing gang would be the Russian mercenaries. That's basically, like, they would be hired by somebody. You don't know exactly who, but they would be hired by somebody. I mean, that's what Cerberus was. Cerberus in Manhunt 1 were contract killers. They were just very fancy, you know, special forces contract killers, but that's essentially what they were. What about his family, Zach? And somebody else might need to come over here because I can't. Yeah, I think the host needs to deliver this. Pierston, you need to deliver this because there's a glitch where I can't deliver this. It's the host has to deliver this. It's not working. Are you gonna make a crazy current events video on the two people who harassed the Rockstar employees at their office in Scotland? Yes, I'm actually gonna make a video about that this week, Ian. That's one video I've been working on. I'm gonna probably might have that out tomorrow actually. Yeah, I can help you, Chas. I'm just gonna help, Toxic next, because I promised Toxic I would help him next. And then after I help Toxic Slaughter, I can help you. Downloading pirated copies is like, it's like trusting strangers from the outside. Yeah, I don't support any kind of, you know, piracy. I'm just against that. I just think it's wrong because it's somebody worked for a product and, you know, you don't really have the right to do that. Thank you, Hamzat, for being a member of my channel. Why did I stay in retail for 6 years? That's stupid. Well, I answered that. It is stupid. I will agree with you on that, but I stayed in retail for 6 years because I was scared about finding another job. That's basically what. I was scared. Here's the backstory on me. When I worked in retail, right? The first month or two of working in retail, whenever I would ask the supervisors and the boss for help, like if I didn't know how to do something and I asked them for help, they would scream at me. Like they would scream at me, they would curse me out. And the thing about that is it got to the point where I got so scared about asking them for help. Like I got so scared about asking them for help because I was scared I was going to get cursed out again. And so that was one of the reasons that I never quit that job. Because after some time, I learned how to do all my tasks like really well. Like I knew how to do all my tasks in retail so well, and I was scared if I would find another job somewhere else that the same exact thing would happen. That if I wouldn't know how to do the work at the start, and then I would get cursed out when I asked for help. When I would ask somebody to teach me something like that. And I talked to one of my friends who's a psychologist, and they told me that that they're like, Pat, this isn't normal. Like, you know, bosses and supervisors aren't, you know, not everybody does this. You know, you just had bad luck that this happened to you, but you shouldn't like let it, you know, let an experience like that prevent you from like looking for jobs other places. But that is it. Apparently, like I encountered like, you know, the worst people ever that could have been my bosses were my bosses in my first job. So that was basically, that's what I'll say about that. Do I watch Pawn Stars and do I think it's a scam? No, I don't think that Pawn Stars is a scam. A lot of times, here's the thing: is I was in that store, the Pawn Stars store. I've been in that store before. I was there. I bought stuff from that store before. I was there last year actually, when I was in Vegas. And I will tell you, they don't record in the Pawn Stars store. And the thing about the Pawn Stars store is that that store is full of people. Like when I was there, like that store was pretty packed. Like it wasn't packed to the point where you couldn't walk around, but it was full of a lot of people. It's probably at least 50 people in that single store. It was not a big building. It's not a big building. And so here's the thing: is have you ever noticed on Pawn Stars, whenever they record Pawn Stars, you notice that the person comes in and there's nobody else in the store, like it's only that person coming in? That's BS. So they're recording in a different location. It's not in that place. But typically what happens is the person will contact the History Channel, or you know, and they'll basically say like, hey, I got this thing I want to sell, like to the pawn shop. And if the History Channel likes it and they're like, oh yeah, this is cool, this is interesting, you know, they'll be like, okay, you know, you can come to this location here, and then Rick will talk to you. And that's basically how it works. So it's not like rigged. It is real deals that they're going through. They're just not filming at the exact place where Pawn Stars are. Now, do I think that Rick rips people off? Yeah, I do think Rick rips people off. And the thing about Rick is, Rick from Pawn Stars is the most like, he is probably like the most loved and hated person ever on TV. That's what I would say about him. Like, when it comes to Rick, I mean, like, would you guys agree with me on this, that, like, Rick has basically, like, a love and hate relationship with his audience? Like, people love Rick, but then at other times they hate Rick because of just the deals that he does. Like, some of the stuff that he does, he gets really cheap. Like, he, like, really rips people off. So that's the thing, is sometimes Rick is cool, and he's funny, but other times he will do, like, crap, you know, bad stuff. So that's the thing about Rick, is like he has like this big love and hate relationship that I haven't seen any other celebrity do. And also, for people wondering, I have seen Rick in real life. I've seen him in real life. And the crazy thing about Rick is I didn't even I didn't talk to him, but I didn't see him at the pawn shop. I actually saw him in public in Vegas. You know where I saw him? I saw him at a gun show. That's basically where I was. So I went to a gun show in Vegas, and it was actually that exact same week where I went to his store, and I saw Rick at that gun show. I saw him there. So that was it. I didn't get the chance to talk to him. We didn't get the chance to talk to him. If my moderator Chaz is here, Chaz, when Chaz was there with me, we saw Rick, but we didn't get a chance to talk to him. But yeah, we did see him. So he was at a gun show in Vegas, but when we were there, we saw him. Let me see Toxic here. Let me join Toxic's MC. Toxic, can you invite me again, please? Thank you. No, that wasn't your fault, Chaz. That was not on you. Don't worry about it. It was not your fault. There's nothing you could have done. We saw Rick when we were pulling into the gun show in a parking lot, and we saw Rick in the parking lot. He walked right past our car. It was actually, and I'm 100% sure it was him. It was exactly Rick. We saw Rick, but we were just parking our car, and we didn't get the chance to talk to him. And it probably wouldn't have been a good idea to approach him either, because he might have gotten scared. But yeah, I probably would have asked him for an autograph. That's probably, or a picture. Probably a picture better than an autograph. That's probably what I would have asked him for. But that's I did see Rick once. Yeah. I own a few TK. Who's Rick? Rick from Pawn Stars. No, I didn't work. I didn't work in New York City when I worked in retail. I worked in Long Island. When GTA 6 releases, will you prioritize the playthrough over your other projects? When GTA 6 releases, I'll make sure that I don't have any other playthroughs at that moment. So I'll finish all my playthroughs early, and I will be focusing on GTA 6. And for people wondering, when GTA 6 comes out, we will be going back to, what it was like back in the day on the channel where, I did a lot of GTA Online content, top 5s, top 10s, money guides, stuff like that, covering the updates in detail. We'll be doing that on GTA 6. I still will be doing the other playthroughs, like other content, so don't worry, guys. It's not like I'm, abandoning the other content, but we're going to be focusing a lot of stuff on GTA 6 when it comes out. So, be a lot of videos, and I'll make a lot of really good videos. People will like them. Hey, Pro, I got a $150 allowance a month. I'm saving for a $2,500 gaming laptop. Should I get a cheaper one? Your thoughts? Well, Ant-Man, if you get a $150 allowance every single month, your parents are extremely generous. That is very nice of your parents. That is very nice of your parents to do stuff like that. Like, I have never heard about somebody getting that big of an allowance, but your parents are very nice people. But here's what I will tell you: don't don't buy a gaming laptop. Don't. What I will say about it is, get a console instead, because unless the only time I would advise getting like a gaming laptop is if you want to mod games. Like if you're really big into like modding video games, like really big into that. Then yeah, I guess, you would want to play PC games. But if you just want to, play the latest games and stuff like that, you can just get a console. You can just get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series X and PS5 is pretty similar in power to like what most PCs are today, and they're only getting better. So that's basically what I'll say about it. Is I play a lot of console, and I'm happy with console mostly. But here's what I will tell you. Well, if you have a gaming PC already, don't even bother then with a gaming laptop. Either save up for a graphics card, but why don't you just take your money and just invest that? Like, why don't you just save it up for something? Like, save it up for a car or something like that. Because if you get $150 like a month, after a couple of years of saving up for something like that, you could get enough money for a car. It's not going to be like an amazing car, but you could buy like a used car eventually. I would save up money for something that's like an investment, something that's going to make you more money back, something that, you can put money into. What happened at TwitchCon? Hey, James Burns, thank you for sponsoring my channel for 2 years. Thanks, dude. How are you, James Burns? But yeah, your parents are extremely generous people. Very, very generous. That's a very generous allowance that they're giving to you. But your parents are very nice people. How close is the USA today to what the Founding Fathers intended? Well, here's it depends on the Founding Fathers. It depends on the Founding Fathers and their view. Like, if you brought back like Alexander Hamilton to life, right? Alexander Hamilton is the guy who's on the $10 bill. He was the first Secretary of the Treasury and also General Washington's, aide-de-camp during the war. If Alexander Hamilton came back to life, if he saw America today, he would be extremely impressed, because he was always really big on economics, and he was always really big on growing the economy. And so he really wanted the economy to grow. He was always really big on that, and he was big on debt too, but reasonable. If he came back to life, the thing that he would be the most impressed with is he would be the most impressed with the fact that America had surpassed Britain. America surpassed Britain And so, like, America's a superpower, so he would be very impressed by that America surpassed Britain, America's former enemy, if he came back to life. But what he would be really pissed off about is he'd be really pissed off about the debt. Like, he'd be really angry about that. George Washington, if he came back to life, George Washington, I think, would be proud of what America has become, like, this giant, large, country. But I think what would piss George Washington off the most is probably the foreign policy. That's probably what would make him the most angry, because George Washington was a very strict non-interventionist. He was very neutral. He did not believe in alliances. He didn't want to get into alliances. He didn't want to get involved in other countries' affairs. Like, if Washington was alive today, he would be completely against NATO. He would not want the U.S. to be in NATO. I guarantee you on that. He would not want the U.S. to be involved in a lot of these, overseas conflicts and involved in other countries' affairs. So he would be pissed about that and really annoyed. Thomas Jefferson, if he came back to life, Thomas Jefferson would probably have the biggest panic attack out of all of them. And the reason is because Thomas Jefferson was a very big small government person. Like, he really didn't want government to get larger. He wanted to limit the government's power. And if he just basically saw how big the government was and saw how many agencies exist, he would probably have a heart attack. So all the founding fathers would react differently to it, and they would be proud of. So essentially, they would be proud of what America has become, but they would also be pissed off at a lot of things too, definitely. LOL, you don't know what they would think or wanted because you don't know them. I don't know them personally, but I know what they believed. I know what they supported. I know that George Washington was against military alliances, and he didn't want to get involved in other countries' affairs. So that's what I'm, based on all the historical knowledge of these people, I'm telling you, that's, in my opinion, how they would react. I need help with Criminal Mastermind before DLC. I can try to help you with it, maybe later in this month, Kirsten. Well, which one, Doomsday or Original? You can get Micah's revolver early in Old Friends. How, Hamzat, thank you for the super chat. What can I invest in? I asked my parents about crypto and they said it's a bad idea. Oh, hell no. Don't do crypto. No. Like, crypto is just, like, such a sketchy thing for me. Like, don't, dude. No, don't. Don't touch that garbage. Look, if you're gonna want to invest something, invest in the stock market, but do your research on what companies you're gonna invest into, and, what you could do is you could do a CD, which what a CD basically is you loan the bank a certain amount of money. So you would loan the bank, so, like, for example, let's say that you would do a CD for $10,000, right? A CD for $10,000, you loan the bank $10,000, and they'll give you, like, between rates of, like, 3% to 4%. So let's say, like, 4% on the high, right? They'll give you 4% of that money back in a year, and it's a guaranteed investment. So you're not going to lose that money in a CD. And so, like, 4% of $10,000 would be $400. So if you did a $10,000 CD with a bank, you get $400 back in a year. So that was, so you get the $10,400 back. So that's basically I would carefully research the investment. I'm not a financial advisor expert, but that's the only thing I would tell you is don't do crypto. Stay away from that garbage. If you're going to do anything, do CDs or stocks, but don't do crypto. Stay away from that. Okay, Pearson. What about the letter scraps in GTA 5? What about them? You mean like a lore video, D? Have I ever gotten into a fight? No. I've never been in a fight, but I did get attacked, if that counts. And the reason I don't count it as a fight is because I got attacked from behind. So there was somebody that came up behind me and, hit me in the back of the head and knocked me down. That happened when I was a kid, a number of years ago. But that wasn't, I wouldn't really consider that a fight because I got knocked down to the ground, so I got assaulted, and it was assault and battery, but that was that pretty much. What am I doing for Halloween? I don't know. I'm gonna do a stream on Halloween. I just haven't decided on what yet. Will I play Yakuza Kiwami 1? Yes, in December. Lost and Damned lore video. I do want to make one on that. Yeah, and who called the cops on Billy exactly? My parents are in real estate. What if I save up for a tiny house? Yeah, that's good. But if you live with your parents and your parents are fine with you still living with them, you know what you can do is buy a rental property. You know, buy, like, if you save up for a small house and you buy it, rent it out, and that will generate you passive income. That will yeah, that's I'm involved in real estate. I run 2 rental properties. It's a great business. Do you know there's this American Revolutionary War movie coming out in the USA's 250th anniversary called George Washington? It's called, I know, it's Young Washington, but that movie is not a Revolutionary War movie. That movie is a movie about George Washington's career in the French and Indian War. So that's what it was. Is what he was in the captain in the British Army during the French and Indian War. And George Washington won a lot of battles, but he was never promoted. He was never promoted. He never felt like he got recognition from the British Army. They treated him like crap. And one of the reasons that George Washington was treated so badly in the British military is because he was not British born. And it was like that in the British military, that if you were an American, even when America was still part of the British Empire, if you like tried to work your way up for the military, they would basically look down on you. So like if you were not British born, if you were born in, like, you know, the 13 colonies, they generally treated you like crap. So that was it. And I guarantee you that movie is going to show that. It's going to show, like, how Washington was treated like crap when he was in the British military. Do I have any opinions of Robert Kiyosaki's financial teachings in today's day and age? He speaks highly about Bitcoin. I don't even know who that guy is. It's the first time I've heard of him. But I don't like cryptocurrency. Like when it comes to that Bitcoin stuff, like, yes, Bitcoin did blow up. It did. You know, it's you know, what, like over 100K a coin, I think, now. So, like, it really, you know, blew up. Like, it really, like, increased in value tremendously. If people bought a lot of Bitcoin back in the day, they became rich from it. That is true. But here's the thing about it. Bitcoin could crash, too. That could happen. So, you know, people buy these cryptocurrencies, but they could fall apart, too. That's what I don't like about cryptocurrencies. That cryptocurrencies is such a, you know, sketchy thing. And here's the thing is whenever I think of cryptocurrency, for some reason, I just always think of scams. Almost always. Like, do you guys kind of agree with me on that? That, like, you know, whenever you think of cryptocurrency, don't you think of scams? Because that's generally, like, what I think of when I think of cryptocurrency. Now, I'm not saying that, like, Bitcoin is a scam. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, like, cryptocurrency is oftentimes involved in such sketchy things. Like, there's just such suspicious things that it's involved in a lot of times. And so that's generally, like, why I don't like it. It's just creepy. It's weird. And I don't trust it personally. Why and when political sensitivity is getting worse? Like, when I was talking about Manhunt 3, my idea for it earlier. The reason that for Manhunt 3, I don't think a game like that would come out because of just the political correctness. Now, where's the political correctness coming from? I don't know, but I can just tell you that it has gotten really bad. It has gotten really bad in recent years, and it's getting particularly annoying. If you want to know a game that was ruined by political correctness, look at Saints Row. That's a perfect game that was ruined by political correctness. Perfect game, ruined by it. Should I take out a loan to buy a property or buy it all in cash? If you can buy a property all in cash, do it. If you can. If you can buy, like, a property all in cash, do it all in cash if you can. There are people out there that say, oh, you know, don't do it in loans, you know, invest, and then, no, they'll say don't do it in cash, do it in loans and invest the others of your money. But here's the thing is, if let's say that you take out a loan, right, and you buy a piece of a rental property, like you buy a house that you want to be a rental, right, and then what you do is the money that you have, you just invest it, you put it in stocks or whatever else. Here's the thing, you have to pay the mortgage off every month. If you don't, the bank takes your home, and with that there's risk. Now, what happens if you get some psycho tenant that comes into your house, right? And the psycho tenant that comes into your house just demolishes your house, like, you know, destroys your house or something like that. And then you have to take that person to court. And then that stuff lasts for months in the court. And then at the same time as you have a mortgage to pay. And you're paying off the mortgage while that court case is proceeding. That person isn't paying rent. And so now, like, you know, where do you have the money for the mortgage, you know, to pay that stuff off? So that's the thing is, that's what people don't think about. People always say, oh, I'll take out, like, a mortgage and then I'll rent out the property. But what they don't understand is that they think that every single person that's going to be in the house is going to be, like, you know, it's going to be, like, perfectly fine. Nothing's going to go wrong. Nothing's going to break in the house. Everything's going to be, you know, perfectly fine. I'm going to have angel tenants. But you can have nightmare tenants. And that's what people don't understand. So I will say, if you do have the money for property to buy it in cash, I know it's not easy, but if you have the money for cash, do it specifically in cash. Don't do it in don't take out a loan. Don't. Bro, that happened to my dad, and that's the worst thing about being a landlord. Yeah, it happened to my parents. My parents ran a small apartment building in New York City when I was growing up. I've gone through 3 tenants. I have 2 rental properties and I have 3 tenants. I've had 3 tenants before. Right now, I've had 2 tenants for the past. 1 tenant I've had now for the past 2.5 years, and the other tenant I've had for a little bit over a year. But my first tenants at my first rental property, they started causing problems over time. There was just issues that started happening. The mortgage payments are dependent on the risk. That's on the rent. That's the risk. You are 100% right, Amir. I did try to do the criminal mastermind with friends, but they didn't communicate and we failed, so I need other players. I can help you with that, Pierston. And thank you, Up Railroad, too, for the super chat. I could do something like that, D. I'm just working on the Tucker lore video for Days Gone right now. A Saints Row developer stated that GTA 6 should cost £100. What? Why is it the developer of a failed game series stating his opinion on how much GTA 6 should cost? He should be the last person speaking. I don't know what that developer is thinking. If you have I want to go to college for network engineer. I'm 14 and good at breaching firewalls. I help my parents build their security network for their computers. If you like that stuff, and you're good at that stuff at a young age, it shows you have talent for that at a young age. So do it. If you think you're good at that stuff, if you're good at something younger, like, you know, that, because stuff like that takes skills to know computers. And so if you're good at that, you like that stuff, do it. Ewo subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Ewo, for subscribing to the channel. Easy way out. Thank you for subscribing. What do I think of Trailer 3 for GTA 6 will release before December? What percent of your savings would you spend to purchase a down payment on a rental property? If I was buying a rental property and I had to take a loan, like I had to, I had no choice but to take a loan, I would put half of the payment down in cash. That's what I would do. So it would be half of the price of the home. That's what I would do. And where I live in the Midwest, homes are generally affordable. So like you probably wouldn't be able to do that in a place like New York or California. But like where I live in like the Midwest, houses are very affordable. So that's basically what is. I only deal in cash. That's basically it. Is I don't get involved with these loan companies. Liberty City Stories this week? Yeah. Yeah, Liberty City Stories is the 24th, right? A streamer, Emiru, got assaulted during a meet and greet, and the guy got to walk away like nothing happened, and he supposedly had a knife. What? Thank you, Raccoon, for sponsoring. Thank you for sponsoring my channel for 2 months. When did this happen? Oh, that's stupid, Tactical. You know, when people buy multiple homes, that was no, when people buy multiple homes, I know exactly what you're talking about. There are people out there, they'll buy multiple homes. Like they'll put a small down payment on each home and they'll take out massive loans and buy like 10 homes at once. No, that's stupid. That crap. Because there's risk involved in that, and the loans are just costing so much. Like I said, there are just so many things that can go wrong. And if you don't have tenants in your house, you don't have tenants in your house. So you're not making money. What do I consider affordable? Thank you, Suspect 13, for the super chat. I don't know if affordable is the exact term that I would use. I know I said it before, but the houses here in the Midwest, right? The houses here in the Midwest, these are nice homes. And these are not junk homes, so these are nice homes. And these are homes that are 4-bedroom houses and have a large backyard. And fenced backyard too. And these homes are built in the last 10 years. So like 10-year-old homes, you know, brand new homes, 4-bedroom houses, and large backyard and fenced. You know how much homes like that cost here? They cost between like, the really nice homes, they cost between like $300,000 to $400,000. That's it. And while that does seem like a lot, it is. If you compare that to New York, where I'm from, New York City, like in New York, try to buy a house in New York. Not even just in New York City, just Long Island. Just go out 15 minutes outside of New York City, and if you try to buy a house in Long Island, it's gonna be like $1 million. So that's what I'll say is like, is that the property here is like literally like 1/3 of the price of like what homes would be in New York. So that's like why I say I consider it so affordable, because it's like, I just grew up in New York, which like New York was just so expensive and properties are just out of control in the prices. Yeah, California is like that too. What's the difference between a communist, a Marxist, and a socialist? Well, a communist and a Marxist, they're pretty much the same thing. A socialist is somebody who, they still believe in like classes. They still believe in like a lower class, middle class, and a rich. But they want the economy to be heavily regulated, like extreme, like heavy regulation, heavy government involvement in the economy. And my parents purchased a house in Long Island, and the house that my parents purchased in Nassau County in Long Island, they purchased it in 2007 for $593,000. Do you know how much that house is worth today? That house is worth a little bit over $1 million today. So like what, in like 18 years, the house has almost doubled in value. That's insane. And some people might say, oh, you know, it's good for your parents. You know, your parents have more money now. But here's the thing about that. What also increases? The property taxes increase when the house goes up in value. So that people don't talk about that. They say, oh, you know, my house is increasing in value. Yay, I get more money. Well, your property taxes are also increasing now because of that. And so the property tax on my parents' house, it's like $18,000. Like that's ridiculous. That's insanity. Like here in the Midwest, where I live, here in the Midwest, people think that a $4,000 property tax is expensive. They think that's a lot of money. But like they haven't seen New York property taxes. That New York property taxes are like something else. That's what I'll say about that. Per year, Soviet man. Yeah. People have recommended that I play Alan Wake. When was my parents' house made? In the 1950s. Oh yeah, I'm still gonna do the other Metal Gear Solid games, yeah. Does democracy have many mistakes? Oh yeah. Yeah, it definitely does, but the thing about New Jersey property taxes are worse. Yeah, New Jersey has some bad ones too. Thank you, Shadow Narwhal, for the super chat. Is my question too long? Well, what's your question, Ryan? You post it again? No, that's one that. You know what that is? That's basically gambling. If you take out a loan to buy a house and then flip it, that's gambling, because you're gambling that the house is that you're gonna be able to sell the house for a profit, and you're also borrowing other people's money. So that's a terrible idea. No, don't do that. It's one thing to rent out the houses, but then trying to flip them, that's something else. No. What do I think of Zoran Mamdani? He's gonna be the mayor of New York City. He's gonna win the election. What else? I really don't want to get involved in the politics. That's basically what I will say. My opinion is just negative. That's what I'll say. I just don't want to get involved in it. I just stay away from the politics. So I don't want to get involved in that. How toxic here. Well, the Hellregal gun is like one of the most rarest firearms in the world. Flipping a home is successful most of the time. Yes, but if you flipping a home, if you flip a home with your own money, that's one thing. But then flipping a home with loans, with money that you borrow, that's basically gambling at that point.
How you doing?
I looked in the PC store for Modern Warfare 2019 DLC and I couldn't find it. I think I had to get it from the Call of Duty store, which has been closed. Try downloading all the packs, Cayman, even the multiplayer packs, because that's what's weird about Modern Warfare. Is Modern Warfare, there's like so many packs, like the multiplayer pack, the campaign pack, the special ops pack, and if you don't have all the packs in a specific way, like it won't work. So that's yeah, that's what I'll say about that. Is just try to download all of them. Yeah, some people said Portable Ops is canon, other people say it's not. I guess I'll... It's the PSP game, right? Will I go back to GTA 5 Online every once in a while when GTA 6 Online comes out? Yeah, I might come back to it for nostalgia every now and then. I passed my driving license test the first time. The best part of your stream is when you speak business, real estate, and history. Thank you. I'm from the Midwest, so I agree about those house prices. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Christine. Did I know that Chicago was raised mid-19th century? What do you mean raised? You mean like burnt down? Thank you, Hamzat, for the super chat. And thank you, Christine. What do you think about Ananta? It's like a GTA with anime character design. Yeah, I've seen the game, but about Ananta, what I'll say about Ananta is that the thing that has me concerned about that game, what I'm concerned about that game is that the game is not rated M, which means there's going to be like a lack of violence and a lack of crime in the game. And if we're doing like a crime game, I am concerned by that. Yeah, it's been a military dictatorship for a couple years, but Burma has had a history of military dictatorships, and also I forgot to answer the other person's question. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked by it. But also Burma has the longest running civil war in human history. The civil war has been going on for 70 years, I think, in Burma. Like 3 generations have fought in it. Thank you, Demigod. About democracy, the person was asking me, do I think democracy has issues? Yeah. The thing about democracy is basically mob rule. That's what democracy essentially is that whatever the majority of the people say is whatever goes. That is what this is. America's not a democracy, it's a constitutional republic, which the difference between a republic and a democracy is a democracy people will vote for policies. They will vote for, the stuff that they want directly, where in a republic you will vote for representatives that want your that are supposed to have your best intentions, but don't always. But I will say my view on it is I'm in favor of republic. I like republics. I don't generally like democracy, and I really don't like monarchies. But there is only one country that's a democracy, and it works. The only country that's a democracy where it actually works is Switzerland. Switzerland is like the only country that's a democracy where it's not a failure. Where in Switzerland they have like a referendum on everything in Switzerland. They have like a government, but their government does not have as much power. It's all through the referendums. That's mostly it. So they have direct democracy in Switzerland. So that's what I'll say about that. Not the multiplayer, just the story. Well, I would still download the multiplayer pack even if it's causing you issues, Cayman. If you can't play the single player, because it might be the multiplayer pack that's interfering with that. Did I see Madagascar's president was over for what, like another coup? Africa's had a lot of coups in the last a few years. Thank you, Shadow Narwhal, for the super chat. Yep, Saints Row 2's anniversary, and I will play Saints Row 1 next year, because it'll be the 20-year anniversary. Do I know the One Piece flag? Yeah, I've seen it before in the anime, and I know people sell it also. When's the last time you celebrated Halloween? Well, I celebrate Halloween every year, technically. We do a live stream for Halloween. But if you're asking when the last time I went trick-or-treating, long ago. It's been more than probably 15 years or more. When I get my gun license, I'm thinking about getting an SKS, a Tokarev, a Type 56-2, and a Glock. What do you think? If you're gonna get an SKS, get the Soviet SKS. Soviet SKSs are the best ones. And when you say Tokarev, I'm assuming you mean the Soviet handgun? That's what you're probably talking about? Gen Z protesters made Madagascar's president leave. Oh, so it was like a... What was Madagascar like a dictatorship? Pro, did you see here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, a teen shot and killed an Uber driver, and when asked why he did it, he said he wanted to let off some steam? Oh my god. Oh my god, that's... What is my favorite bolt-action rifle? Probably the Springfield Krag. Yeah, probably the Krag rifle. If I had to choose to remove one mission from GTA, what would it be, besides the post-op missions from the MC? I would remove that stupid Titan mission where you have to, for the selling a full crate, where you have to fly like 10 drops, and then there's those helicopters that chase you to fly low below the radar. I'd get rid of that. Would I ever own a gun from Red Dead Redemption 2? I own 3 guns from Red Dead Redemption 2. I own the Carcano, I own the Springfield Krag, which is the bolt action rifle, and I own the Browning Auto 5, which is the semi-automatic shotgun. What are your concerns about GTA 6 in terms of story and gameplay? I think gameplay will be great. I don't think I really have many concerns with gameplay. When it comes to story, that's where I'm a bit more concerned. I hope this story is not rushed. I hope it's not. I really hope this story is not as short as GTA 5. I really hope it isn't. Why is that player trying to hit you? No, he's not. He's just messing around. He's friendly. Maybe if I could do like a video comparing them to the guns of Red Dead, yeah. Wild Cube appeared. Hey Cube, how are you doing, dude? What type of gun would you recommend best for self-defense? I would not when it comes, it depends on the situation that you're in. If it comes to home defense, in my opinion, shotgun. I think shotgun is the best for home defense. If it comes to being in your car, I think in your car a handgun is the best defense. How would you react if GTA 3 had a 3-hour story and GTA 6 Online was behind a GTA Plus paywall? Thank you for sponsoring my channel for 2.5 years, WRV. I don't think it's going to be like 3 hours, because I think that, yeah, it's probably going to be the same length as GTA 5 or maybe a little bit shorter, but I don't think it's going to be 3 hours. I don't think that there's going to be anything GTA Plus related to the single player. However, though, I think the worst case scenario, WRV, is I think that I think the worst thing that could happen is that GTA 6 Online is locked behind a subscription service. Like, you need to buy GTA Plus to play GTA 6 Online. That's what I think. You just gave an idea. Nah, I didn't give them an idea. If I thought about this, Rockstar definitely thought about this. And I guarantee this definitely came across Rockstar's mind. Like, they definitely discussed this. Hi from Switzerland. Oh, hi, Urcut. How are you doing, dude? Favorite Boondocks episode? My favorite Boondocks episode, it's in season 1. It's the episode where Tom gets accused of being the Xbox killer, and then when they go to the convenience store, and then the convenience store just basically gets shut up. That was my favorite one. Do you want GTA 6 story to be the length of GTA San Andreas? Oh yeah, but it's probably not going to happen. You know what I will tell you? What one thing I'll tell you guys about the Boondocks Do you know who's one of the biggest scumbags in the Boondocks that nobody ever talks about? Like when you talk about like the scumbags in the Boondocks, you know, you think of like Ed Wunsler, you think of his dad, you think of Stink Meaner, but you know one scumbag in Boondocks that almost never nobody talks about. You know who that is? Cousin Jericho. Does anybody remember Cousin Jericho? Cousin Jericho is like one of the biggest scumbags in the Boondocks, and like he only appears in one episode, but he is like literally like one of the biggest scumbags. And the thing about Cousin Jericho is that the other characters in the show, like for example like Stink Meter and like you know Wunsler, I guess people like that could exist, but they're a lot more rare. Where people like Cousin Jericho are very common. There are people like him out there. He is like the most common villain. There's people just like him out there. Does anybody remember Cousin Jericho? Do you guys remember that episode? I think it was called Invasion of the Katrinans. I think that's what the episode was called. Does anyone know the episode I'm talking about? It's where like Robert's like family from like New Orleans is like he comes up because of Hurricane Katrina, and then they start taking advantage of him and just mooching off of him. Uncle Ruckus is a villain too. Well, Uncle Ruckus is a villain. He is, but Uncle Ruckus, the thing about Uncle Ruckus is, I would describe him as very differently than like a lot of the other characters because like for example like Wunsler and Stink Meter. Like Wunsler and Stink Meter are like evil. They're evil. They're just in general like evil people. Uncle Ruckus is a bad person, but Uncle Ruckus is a villain, but he's also a victim. That's what he is. The reason that he's a victim also is because Uncle Ruckus had a very traumatic childhood. Like his childhood was he was extremely abused, and both of his parents were really horrible people. Like there's one episode where Uncle Ruckus's childhood is shown, and his childhood is like really, really, really messed up, like really, really bad. His father would constantly beat him up all the time, and then his mother was like insane, and she basically like convinced him that he was white. Like that's what his mother was like, brainwashed him into thinking that he was white, and then she would read him all this white supremacist propaganda, and he started believing that stuff growing up. So his mother was like insane. She had like clear mental issues, and then the father was like extremely abusive. And that's like, you have like an abusive father, and then you have like a mother who's just like insane and reading you white supremacist propaganda. And then you have somebody like, Uncle Ruckus that basically is the product of that. So that's it. So when I was a kid, I really hated Uncle Ruckus when I was a kid. But when I saw that one episode later on, like showing his childhood, I still disliked the horrible things that he said. But I kind of feel bad for him in a way too. The stuff that he went through as a kid, I kind of feel bad for him. Oh yeah, his grandma. I forgot about his grandma. His grandma was a psycho. Yeah, the grandma was a psycho. Yeah, the crazy thing about Uncle Ruckus is that both of his brothers turned out fine. Like both of his brothers seemed like nice people, like generally like good, nice people. But Uncle Ruckus just turned out really bad. Thank you, Jonathan, for sponsoring my channel for 2 years. Well, there was an option in the original version of GTA 4 where Nico had the choice of killing Phil or or Ray. I missed your super chat. I'm sorry. Let me look. My favorite Pawn Stars episode are when someone brings in an antique gun. I remember an episode where someone had a fully functional Gatling gun. Yeah, and I like that about Pawn Stars is when they bring in like these really rare guns that you don't know much of, like these rare guns that you've never heard about, like these crazy prototypes that people bring in. Like those are some of the coolest parts of Pawn Stars. Yeah, and then they go out and shoot those guns. Thank you, Eric, for the super chat. But what I was trying to say earlier about Uncle Jericho. Does anybody remember here Uncle Jericho from the Boondocks? He's not a very well-known character because he only appears in one episode. But does anybody remember Uncle Jericho in the Boondocks? Like, Uncle Jericho was like a massive scumbag. Like, he was just such a scumbag. Like, I really didn't like that guy. What do I think about Fleece Johnson from Boondocks the Booty Warrior? He's based on a real person. He's, But that episode was funny, too. The prison one was funny. Yeah, Little Wayne did play Jericho's son. I remember that, too. You should watch 86. It's a military war anime. I did watch 86. I watched it like a couple years ago, but I did watch it. I do remember it. Yeah, and I remember it was like 86 were the ones who were the characters who didn't have white hair, where there was like the one country, like it was like 4 or 5 years ago when I watched it. But it was the there was the one group of people that they had like white hair and they considered themselves like superior, and then the 86 were the people that didn't have white hair and they treated them as inferior to them, and they basically just like threw them against like the machines, and then the machines were coming in and and they were fighting against like those evil robots that were trying to take over their country. Yeah, it's been some time, but I remember the show. I did watch the whole thing. What channel was Boondocks on? Boondocks used to be on Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. When I was a kid, that's what it was on. But yeah, but about Cousin Jericho. The reason that Cousin Jericho is such a scumbag in the Boondocks is because Cousin Jericho comes to live with Robert during Hurricane Katrina. And what happens is Robert, takes them in because they're his, distant family. But then what happens is they just start taking advantage of Robert. Like, they're not working, they're not doing anything, they're just sitting there and doing nothing. Like, they're just sitting and not working and doing nothing. And then Robert is, paying for everything. They're, using up the electricity, the water bill, everything. They're eating all the food in the fridge. They're not contributing anything. And Cousin Jericho says, thank you, Robert, thank you for all this. When I get my FEMA check-in, I'm going to, pay you back for all this stuff. And he was lying about the whole thing. He wasn't gonna ever pay him back. It was all just a giant scam. That's what it was. And the thing about Robert, the thing about Cousin Jericho is there are people just like Cousin Jericho out there. People like that take advantage of good-hearted people. And I kind of think the moral lesson in that episode was because what was it the moral lesson in that episode was Robert did not want to help his family, so he didn't want to help them. Huey did want to help them. And the episode was both of them were wrong, both Robert and Huey were wrong. Is that Robert was wrong about being selfish, but Huey was wrong about being too kind. That's what they were. So, they were both the opposites of each other. Robert was just too selfish, and Huey was too kind, and I think that was what, was the moral lesson in that episode, is that the moral lesson was kind of, help others when you get the chance, but don't let yourself get taken advantage of. I think that's what kind of the episode was trying to tell you, is that, help others when you can, don't be selfish, but don't let yourself get taken advantage of either. At least that's kind of the impression I got from that episode, but that was it. I hated Cousin, Jericho so much. I couldn't stand that guy. He was a really, annoying person. I'm worried about Agent Reaper. He never played a 3-week. Wait, what? Naomi, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat. Did I watch Futurama? I did when I was a kid. I never watched the new season. The new season, I never watched it. But I did watch, when I was a kid, I watched Futurama. I did. I watched pretty much every episode when I was a kid. Almost every one. What's the first thing you're doing when you want access free roam in GTA 6? What, you mean in the online? I guess start doing missions, making money, and trying to get an apartment in the game. No, I didn't have any issues with the GTA Online servers today, Def. Jericho isn't a good person. He's a former raider, and you need very evil karma to recruit him. You're talking about Fallout 3, but Jericho was my favorite companion in Fallout 3. He was my favorite companion in Fallout 3. He had some funny dialogue, too. Like Jericho was just like a very like he always spoke his mind. That's what was great about Jericho. It's like he would not BS you. He would just always speak his mind.
Okay.
I want to do the Fallout 3 DLCs this year, maybe next month before, because there's a rumor that Fallout 3 Remaster is coming out in December, and if that's true, I want to get the DLCs done, because I want to, I'm going to do another, for people wondering, I did a playthrough of Fallout 3 last year, and my playthrough of Fallout 3 was actually really popular, like, people really liked it. So I was actually really surprised that a lot of people liked that game, but I was happy that a lot of people liked it, just like I did back in the day, but I'm going to do another playthrough of Fallout 3, but this playthrough of Fallout 3 that we'll do, the second one that we'll do, is this second one. A lot of people are gonna find this one really funny. This Fallout 3 playthrough, Fallout 3 when I did it a year ago, it was the Good Karma playthrough. But you know what we'll do now? This time it'll be Fallout 3 Evil Karma Psychopath playthrough. That's what we'll do. I'm gonna play like a total psychopath in that, and I'm gonna choose like the most evil dialogue, and I'm gonna do the most evil crap ever. It's gonna be a really funny, fun playthrough to watch. GTA's Colombian cartel versus the Los Carnales. I see what you did there, the Los Carnales. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, I was so mad about The Walking Dead. That's why I got so mad about that too. But, I think the Carnales would probably win, because the Carnales used to rule, Stillwater. How good is the Carcano rifle? The Carcano rifle is a decent rifle. You know, Italy did not make a lot of really good vehicles during World War II, but they made some pretty good guns, and the Carcano was a decent rifle. What's wrong, Christine? You're stuck on the black screen. Oh, about the Carcano, it's one of those few rifles that takes 6 rounds, where most bolt action rifles took 5. The Carcano took 6. But the thing about my Carcano, the Carcano was one of my favorite bolt action rifles to shoot, because it was like on point. Like a lot of the other guns that I've had, like a lot of the other bolt guns, like I've had the Mosin Nagant, the Krag, those guns, they're more annoying to adjust with the iron sights, but the Carcano, it was always dead on. Like, it was always dead on, like, right where the iron sight was, it's like, right where it would hit. It was like, it was very dead on. But, the thing about my Carcano is, I have this really weird issue with my Carcano rifle. I have to take it to a gunsmith one day, I have a gunsmith take a look at it, but what's basically going on with it is, when I've shot the Carcano at shooting ranges before, the final round always jams. Like, I don't know why it does that. Like, it's like the final round will just not, it will not cycle. Like, it just won't. So, like, if I have, like, you know, 3 rounds in the gun, the 3rd round will not cycle. If it's, like, 4 rounds, the 4th round, so it's like the last one always will not cycle. I don't know why, and it's been really annoying, and I had to, like, really fight with the bolt on that, and so I have to get it, no, have a gunsmith look at it, but I don't know what's causing that issue, but it's been a, I have oiled it, I clean it, I oil it, but it still always does that. It's always the last round always jams it. I don't know why it does that. So it's I have to have somebody take a look, an expert take a look at that when I get the chance. Are bolt action rifles your favorite gun type? Yes. Generally, bolt action rifles are my favorite, you know, firearms. Yes. Why is the United States obsessed with oil? What do you mean? Have I ever thought about playing the Mass Effect games? Yeah. And I've never played the Mass Effect game, so that would be a playthrough worth doing, too. Toxic, are we done selling your stuff? Chaz, are you still here, by the way? Oh, Chaz is in Toxic's MC, okay, I really hope that GTA 6 has dedicated servers. If it has dedicated servers, I don't think these DDoS attacks are gonna happen. Have you tried the Type 99 Arasaka? I own one. I have it, yeah. The drop is glitched, Pat? Oh, what? Oh, it's glitched. Do I have you added, Jackie? Oh, I see. It's glitched. I see. The bottom right. Toxic, did you get paid? Did you get paid for the sale? Did you get the money for it or not? Yes, Def, it is. Well, tell me what your PSN is, Jackie, and I can add you in, later today. Will I try to get to 1 billion in GTA 6? Yeah, I'll try to do that. Expand and enhance, that's what this is. We're still glitched here. Crap. Okay, no, I never played Resident Evil 7, Captain. Thank you for the super chat, dude. What modern Russian firearms can you own in the United States? Assuming it's a gun-friendly state, pretty much every gun. So, like, you can, pretty much every single modern Russian firearm you can own. You can own, like, the Sega shotgun, you can own, a lot of the different AK variants. So pretty much every, you can own the Makarov handgun, pretty much every, modern Russian gun, if it's a gun-friendly state in the U.S., you can own it. The rifles, like the AKs, they can't be automatic. They have to be converted to semi-automatic. But, yeah, you can generally own all of them. Like, I have an AK-74. So, like, the AK-74, I own that one. The long one, not the U, not the 74U. I have the 74, the long one. So I have that one. So that's kind of a modern Russian gun. But but yeah, you can pretty much own pretty much all modern Russian firearms in the United States. The problem is because there's sanctions, and so there's a lot of like older World War II guns are gonna be like really expensive because of that. Because like Russia for like many years has sold a lot of like its old World War II stockpile to like American gun collectors. And ever since, like, the sanctions, like, these old World War II guns aren't, coming into the market anymore. That's one of the reasons most of the guns have also, doubled and tripled in value in the last few years. Yeah, I think we need to restart this. I'm gonna make a new session here. What military surplus gun do you want to get next? I can answer that question. So, I'm a very big history guy, as you guys know, and what I wanted to do is I want to have the ultimate World War II rifle collection, like have all of the rifles of every single country in World War II. And I've actually done a pretty good job at assembling that collection. I have the Arasaka, the Japanese rifle. I have the M1 Garand, the American rifle. I have the M1 1903 Springfield American bolt-action rifle, also used in World War II. I have the Mosin Nagant, the Soviet rifle. I have the Carcano, the Italian rifle. I have the Lee Enfield, the British rifle. And I have the SVT-40 also. The SVT-40, that's the Soviet semi-automatic rifle. But there's one World War II gun, rifle that I've been trying to get, but I just don't want to get it. And the reason I don't, even though I do want it, is because it's too expensive. It's just too much money. But the one that I wanted to get is the Gewehr 43, the G43. The German semi-automatic 8mm Mauser rifle, that one. But that gun is just it's too rare. It's very you can find some G43s at gun shows and stuff like that, but G43s are just so expensive. Like that rifle, it'll be like 4 or 5 grand for that rifle. I'm not paying $4,000 for a gun. No, screw that. As much as I like the history, I'm not gonna ever pay that much for it. So that's like the one gun I haven't been able to get in my collection because it is such a expensive firearm. There's not a lot of G43s left on the market, and that's the one that I'm missing. Brandon, I'm gonna help Chaz sell, because I promised Chaz I would help him sell. Chaz, can you invite me? I have a Springfield 1903. Hold on to it, because the Springfields are gonna go up in value over the next few years. How do I bring legal charges against someone who has DDoSed me? It has happened 4 times from the same person. Well, do you have proof that that person is the one doing it? Because it's really hard to get proof of somebody doing, a DDoS attack on you. Because, like, if somebody, I'll say this. If somebody joins your session, right? And then right after that person joins your session, like, you get DDoS, and then, like, you go into another session, and that person joins your session, and you get DDoS, and it happens again and again. Is that proof? It's kind of more circumstantial evidence. It's not direct proof, because, his argument would be, oh, I was just in the same lobby. But you and me both know it was that guy doing it. So, like, if somebody's, like, joining your lobby repeatedly, and then you keep getting, internet knocked out, it's obvious the guy's doing it, but that's really not enough proof. As much as we would want it to be enough proof, it really isn't. And so, unless the person admits to you, the only way that you would be able to have, direct proof that a person is DDoSing you is if they admit to you. Like, I had an idiot who DDoSed me, like, a couple years ago. It was, like, a video that went viral, and that idiot, like, actually admitted to it. Like, he literally sent me a message, like, have fun with no internet, and he knocked out my internet. Like, the guy was a complete idiot. But, like, unless you have direct proof that, like, somebody is, like, doing it, like, they admit it to you, like, they send you in a message saying, like, oh, we did this, blah, 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 then that's, like, the best proof that you can have, when they actually admit to it. But if they never admitted to it, then there's really not much you can do. And here's the thing, even if you have proof of the person admitting to it, it's still really hard to do anything, because individual DDoSers, they almost never get prosecuted for it. They never get arrested for it. Like, nobody ever gets arrested for DDoSing somebody in a game. As much as we would want somebody, I think people should get arrested for DDoSing on a game. But as much as we want it to happen, it almost never happens. There are people that do get arrested for DDoSing in real life, but the people who get arrested for DDoSing, they are the people who are, like, hacking companies. Like, DDoSing companies, DDoSing banks, like, stuff like that. Like, large corporations, governments. Those are the people who get arrested and caught. Like, people doing those attacks. But if it's somebody doing a DDoS to you in a game, the government isn't really going to care. Is it illegal? Yes, it is illegal. But the government isn't really going to care. They're not really going to do anything about it, as much as it sucks. He admitted to me 4 separate times. That's the proof. If he admitted 4 separate times to you, I would get the proof on that, and capture it, record everything, get everything down, just so you have that proof. And then I would look up who to report that to, because I think that DDoSing might actually be a federal crime. Because if it's DDoSing, it's happening across state lines. So chances are that person is probably there, unless they're in a different country than you. If they are in a different state than you, and they are DDoSing you when you're in a different state, that's a crime that's happening across multiple states, and so that could actually be a federal offense. It probably could be, because so the federal government usually gets involved when it's a case going across multiple state lines. That's when the federal government gets involved. And so if it's somebody DDoSing you from another state, it could very much well be a federal case. So I would document it, get all the proof down, and then I would just Google it. Google, like, who you report the DDoS attacks to. Is it the FBI or, who? I don't know who. But I'm sure there's some federal agency that you can report it to. and that basically it. But honestly speaking, I will be honest with you, dude. Is if you even if you document it and you get all the proof and you report that to the government is probably not gonna care. They're probably gonna look at it and be like, oh, some kid playing a game. That's probably what they're gonna be like. So it sucks that the government's not gonna do anything, but I don't want to get your hopes up because the government probably isn't gonna care. They probably won't. So almost no one ever gets arrested for that stuff. What is the most gun-friendly state? The most gun-friendly state in America? Well, a lot of people think it's Texas, but I wouldn't say that it's Texas. Texas is a very gun-friendly state, but I don't think it is the most gun-friendly state in America. The most gun-friendly state in America, I think Alaska. When people think of states, they don't really think of Alaska, but Alaska. I think Alaska is the most gun-friendly state because Alaska, there's very little to no regulations on it. It's even less than Texas. So that's what I would say is probably Alaska. Today's my birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Jaquan, the Magin King. Happy birthday, dude. Everybody wish him a happy birthday there. Is New Hampshire a gun-friendly state? I don't know much about New Hampshire. I know New Hampshire is definitely better than New York. It's definitely, more gun-friendly than New York, but I don't know, much about it. Are Americans scared without guns in a fight? It's not about that. It's not like a lot of people will say like, oh, Americans are paranoid people, or they'll say like Americans are scared. It's not about being scared. It's not about being paranoid. It's more about being prepared. It's like Americans are prepared for situations like that. They know that you never know when you could have some idiot trying to rob you or break into your house. Stuff like that happens. So I wouldn't call it like paranoia or being scared or stuff like that. I would call it more being prepared. No, I don't live in Montana, Feline King. Didn't you say your Arasaka was sporterized Pro? Yes. Yes, and that's the unfortunate thing about it. I might buy a second Arasaka because I want to buy like an actual like fully authentic Arasaka. Like the Arasaka that I have has the Japanese mum on it, like the crest of the imperial family, but it is sporterized. I was not, and for people, chat, don't get mad at me. I was not the one who sporterized the Arasaka. I bought an Arasaka that was sporterized, so I didn't take an old rifle and do that to it. It was already a gun that was already sporterized, but. It was, I kind of regretted buying it. I should have just bought a more fully authentic Arasaka, but that was that. Do I think that America would be better if guns were banned completely? No, I think America would be much worse if firearms were banned. In the Call of Duty World at War mission Eviction, you can get an achievement when you kill the German soldiers in the subway in the dark when the lights go out with the Soviet rocket barrage. Yeah, I remember I got a platinum trophy on PS3. What does sporterized mean? Sporterized basically means that they will cut parts of the stock off, like parts of the wooden stock, like just to lighten the gun. Probably change the bolt a little bit on it too. It makes the gun look very different than what it makes the gun look more like a hunting rifle, not like a World War II like a gun. That's why a lot of people say sporterizing destroys old firearms. Are you allowed to own the Type 100 or no? Yes, you're talking about the Japanese World War II SMG, but the thing is here's the thing. If a Type 100 appeared, right, in America for sale, it would probably be really rare, but if a Type 100 did actually appear, that thing would probably be well over $100,000. And the reason for that, the Japanese only made, I think it was like 11,000 Type 100s in total, where the Germans made over a million MP40s. So people don't understand that the Type 100 is a pretty rare, World War II submachine gun. When people play like Call of Duty World at War, they think that like every Japanese soldier was carrying a Type 100. No, it's not true. The Japanese didn't really use Type 100s against the U.S. in the Pacific campaign. The Japanese used Type 100s in the China campaign. So in China, that's where they used them. And there was only 2 Japanese soldiers that actually carried the Type 100. It was officers. So officers like squad leaders, commanders, sergeants, they were the ones who carried Type 100s, and also the paratroopers. Japanese paratroopers carried Type 100s. So it was paratroopers and officers. There was no like regular infantry that carried Type 100s. So they're a very rare firearm. So if a Type 100 actually appeared at like an American gun show, that thing would be well over 100,000. It would be like one of the most expensive, firearms sold. I'm scared of going to America because so many guns. No, dude, don't believe that stuff. No, come on, seriously. Like I have lived in this country my whole life. I'm 31 years old. I have never been shot at, and not only have I never been shot at, I have never heard a gun go off in public other than at a shooting range. So no, dude, don't believe this stuff. Don't. That's just like anti-American propaganda that's being pushed around. Don't believe that crap. What European countries are the most friendly, gun friendly? Switzerland and the Czech Republic, or Czechia. I'm considering visiting the U.S. Is Chicago, San Francisco, and Seattle good choices? I have never been to San Francisco and Seattle, but I have been to Chicago. And about Chicago, I will say about Chicago, Chicago does get a bad rep, but one thing I will say positive about Chicago is that I spent like a week in Chicago, and when I spent a week in Chicago, and then I've been in Chicago like every few years. I've gone to Chicago, but last time I was there was 2 years ago. But about the city, the one good thing I'll say about the city is that the trains arrive on time. Like whenever I took the subway, like every day that I took the subway, the train would always arrive on time. Like always, there was no latenesses, nothing like that. Where in New York, trains were constantly always late. Chicago does handle congestion and traffic better than New York. Like the streets are more open, it's easier to park. It's not like as bad as New York, where it's like every car side by side. So that's all I'll say about it. The streets are a little bit better than New York, and trains arrive on time. There are definitely bad parts of Chicago. The south side of Chicago, which is the most dangerous. That's the place where the gang violence is. Is it worth it to buy 5 large warehouses if you were to do it passively with the NPC and do other money-making activities in the meantime? Yeah. Here's what you can do, Finlay, is do this. Is buy 3 crates and go to warehouse number 1. Deliver the 3 crates there, and then go to that, Lupe's, worker, and, go up to them and buy, order a bunch of crates. And then, buy 3 crates for your second warehouse. And that'll get you around the timer, like the 5-minute cooldown, because you're getting crates for your next warehouse. Deliver 3 crates there, go to Lupe's, worker, and, and then, buy crates at that warehouse. And the crates will be delivered in 48 minutes. So, in a single in-game day. And then, do it crate warehouse 3, crate warehouse 4, crate warehouse 5, and then eventually 48 minutes passes, you go back to the first warehouse, buy 3 crates there, and you go to Lupe or Lupe's worker, and you order more crates, and the crates will be delivered passively while you're collecting more crates, and it'll help you fill up the warehouse and do it quicker. So yeah, that's all I'll say about it. is I think it is worth it. But the thing is, crates are only worth it if you have time and it doesn't piss you off, because crates are like the most tedious thing on GTA Online. I think you guys would agree with me on that. Is like the most tedious activity. So that is so like if you have patience, if you don't mind like driving around and constantly doing the same thing over and over again, you'll be fine. But for some people, I know they get really pissed at that stuff. But if you don't have a problem doing the same thing over and over again, it is good money in the game. Thank you Finlay for the super chat. Exodus chapter 22 verse 23. Yeah, Henry says that one. Thank you, Finlay. Thank you, Jitter Doomer. Has anybody here seen my Henry lore video? Like, has anyone seen the full video here? Anyone seen it? My Henry lore video is blowing up. Like, I've already gotten 400 subscribers from it. It's at like 50,000 views, I think, now. So like I've got a bunch of new subs from it. But has anybody here seen the Henry lore video? Mr. Wong in Mafia is one of the villains who can tell the truth about Henry. Henry's a snitch after all. Yeah, he is, Jitter. And you know the thing is about Wong is a very brutally honest guy. Like, he's a stone cold killer. Like, when he looks at Henry the first time in that deal, like, you can see from him, he's just the look that he gives. He's a stone cold killer. But you know, the thing about Wong is a pretty underrated character. He is. Because like about Wong is as much of as a psychopath as Wong is, I actually like him a lot, even though he makes like such little appearances. Because you know what my favorite line from Wong is? When Vito says to Wong, he's like, whoa, you saying Henry was a rat? And then Wong just laughs and says, yes, but not anymore. Like that. Like, I just love that line for some reason. Like, the way he just says, like, he just smiles during that. Like, that's the one thing I liked about Wong, is just how direct he was in that. Like, I know it's kind of messed up, but I just like that in Mafia 2, that response he gives to Vito. Yes, but not anymore. Yes, I have watched it. It's a great video. Yeah, that was so you guys liked my Henry video. Was the volume in the video good? Was the audio volume good? Was it everything good? Could you guys hear me clearly in that video? Did everything sound good? Bro, I'm sorry for doubting your opinions on Henry. It's fine, dude. You don't have to apologize to me or something like that. Well, Henry's name should be called Henry Problemissimo. That's what his name should be, because he causes nothing but problems. The audio was off for me. What do you mean, Nene? I would love to see Kane and Lynch get one more game, because Kane and Lynch would be pretty old guys by now, but I would like to see one final game of Kane and Lynch, just one final one. And I will tell you, even though Kane and Lynch are just like really brutal, bad people, like they're just bad guys in general. If a Kane and Lynch 3 ever comes out, I would like to see both of them have good endings. That's what I would like to see. I'd like to see both of them have happy, good endings. After all the crap that they've gone through, I would like to see that they have good, happy endings. Like, Kane's happy ending, I would imagine, like, his final scene would be, like, him visiting his daughter. That would be, like, you know, Kane's happy final ending. I think that Lynch's happy final ending would be, like, you know, meeting, like, you know, a woman that he's, you know, that he falls in love with again, like Sue. But this time nothing bad happens. I think that would be probably, you know, both of their best endings. My voice was too quiet and the cutscenes were too loud. Oh. Were you still able to fully understand me, Nene? I still got one more mission left, Angelo. I think the Battlefield 6 story is better than Modern Warfare 3. It's shorter, but at least it's better than Modern Warfare 3. That's what I'll say about it. But I'll give my full opinion when I finish the final mission. Okay, Brandon. Yeah, we can do it. What's your opinion on GTA roleplay? I would like to see GTA roleplay like that in GTA 6. Like, I hope that GTA 6 focuses on it. I think you're wholesome, dude. Pro, don't change. Thank you, TK. Hey, Pro, I've been watching since 2018, and I have not gotten the chance to play with you. Is there a spot for me to join? Yeah, can you tell me what your PSN is? And there was also that other guy that wanted to tell me his PSN. I don't know if I missed his comment earlier. But yeah, you could tell me your PSN, and I could add you later, Lundo. That's no problem. Well, can I ask you, Nene, what were you listening to my video on? Was it a computer, or was it a phone, or? But you guys liked my my Henry video, right? You said it was a good video. You liked it. I wanted to keep the video I wanted to keep the video not too long. Like, I was trying to keep the video under an hour. Like, when I was making the Henry video, I wanted it to be under an hour. But there was just so much information to cover and so many points for me to cover that I just couldn't keep it under an hour. I hope people didn't minded the length. You listen to it on your phone. Okay. You said you had to adjust the volume, right? But you did, but at the end, but you still were able to fully understand me in the video. It was just a little annoying with the volume adjusting, but you said you still were able to understand me. Do I think Henry Tomasino was based on Henry Hill? Maybe. But Henry Tomasino ultimately represents bad luck. That's what he represents, bad luck. It was his 13th contract. He gets shot on. He dies in chapter 13, and every single time Henry sends you on a job, it goes bad. Like, look at the gas station, gas station stamp heist. That went bad, and then he lied to you and he made you go to the to get the different gas stations, and then Vito got caught because of it. His job at the jewelry store went bad. The Irish gang showed up, and then Joe and Vito almost fell off the roof, and then the brewery thing went bad. And even when Henry, comes back, he tries to kill Vito's father figure, Leo. He tries to, and then he tries to lure Vito into this deal, lure Vito and Joe into this deal, which he was going to betray them in. Thank you, Lundo, for sponsoring my channel. Are you not seeing my comment? I am Zombie. Best lore video, in my opinion, is early signs when Big Smoke is going to betray CJ. Yeah, that was one of my... I think that is the most popular video on my channel. I think it's like 5 million views. That video is like hidden signs that Big Smoke was going to betray CJ. Yeah, that video got like really popular. Really, really popular. How many more parts in Battlefield 6? One more. Where in America would you recommend someone from the UK to visit for their first time? Maybe Las Vegas. Las Vegas is generally a fun city to visit, and Las Vegas has really everything. But Vegas can be a very expensive city. So the thing about Vegas is don't eat in the casinos. That's what I would say. Is there's a lot of like cheaper places that you can find, but Vegas is a really cool place. There's a lot of different things that you can visit in Vegas. It's generally a fun city. What is the Blackwater Massacre of Red Dead Redemption 2? They were robbing a bank in Blackwater, and the heist went bad, and a lot of people died, civilians and cops. And then Dutch shot some girl in the head, and he killed her. Thank you, Minion Dave. That's what that strange man actually talks about in Red Dead Redemption 1. Have I ever visited Atlantic City? I've been there once. Atlantic City is a dying city, though. That's what I'll say about it. No offense to anybody who lives there. But Atlantic City has lost a lot of its business recently. It's like the casinos are closing down. It's not as big of a city as it used to be back in the day. A lot of businesses are shutting down. Atlantic City was in Fallout 76, yeah. And one thing that Fallout 76 did get right is the Italian Mafia owned a lot of casinos in Atlantic City. They did get that right. That is true in Atlantic City. If I could have a remaster of any game, what would it be? Maybe Mercenaries 1. Mercenaries 1, the first Mercenaries game. That would... I wanted to say I love your videos. Thank you, Kevin. Are you still typically streaming on Friday and Sunday? Yeah, I always stream every Friday and every Sunday. Always. Sundays GTA, Friday Red Dead, and I'm going to do a stream this week, by the way. This week, in the middle of this week, guys, we'll do a Battlefield 6 stream. I just don't know what day, maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but we will do a Battlefield 6 stream this week in the multiplayer. How do I get the please help me mask? I think isn't it? Don't you mean the please stop me mask? Is that what you're talking about? It's the manhunt mask, the yellow mask. Actually, I don't even remember. Does anybody here know in the comments how do you unlock the please stop me mask from manhunt in this game? Like, how do you unlock it? What do you have to do again to get it? You get it from the mask store at Vespucci, I know that, but what do you have to do again to unlock it? Can somebody help him out there? If you didn't do the first 2 weeks, the weekly challenge, you missed it. 2 weeks ago, you had to do the weekly challenge. Well, I already have the mask, so I'm not worried about that, but I guess there was the undead challenge. That was it. Okay, the weekly challenge there.
That's not gonna work.
No, I don't think Abigail was the rat in the gang.
Okay, my friend. I'll take care of the LSPD. Leave it to me.
Oh, come on. This is my favorite cell mission. I don't like this one. The one with the weed truck like this. This is... How did the Pinkertons know about the bank job in Saint Denis, though? Micah wasn't an informant in Chapter 4. How do you... We don't know that. He could have been an informant way earlier than that. And also, I will, yeah, I think that it was the gang's recklessness. That's what I think it was. Because you have to remember, what did Dutch's gang do? Dutch's gang shot up Saint Denis, robbing the train station, right? Yeah, that. They shot that up. They killed how many cops? Dozens of cops. Then they, they robbed, they broke into Bronte's mansion, shut up the mansion, killed how many, guards, and Bronte himself, and the Pinkertons knew that Dutch was in the area. They didn't know exactly where he was, but they knew that Dutch was in the area, and what happened is, that they knew that Dutch needed cash, they needed money, and there was a big bank in Saint Denis, and so it's not really hard to put two and two together, realizing that they're gonna shoot up the bank. They're gonna come and rob the bank, and so they only just sat outside, waited till Dutch and his gang came in, and that was basically it. Milton told us it was after the bank job. Maybe, but... Yeah. Was Dutch's head injury from the trolley the main cause of his insanity? Nah, because Dutch was already losing it even before that. Noise, Arthur, noise, yeah. Henry's always wearing a black suit and black cats represented by bad luck. Coincidence? That is a good one. I didn't look when you think about that. How are you doing, Pro? Are you gonna do a playthrough of the Insomniac Spider-Man games? Have I seen a trailer for the Wolverine game that's coming out? No, I haven't. I haven't seen it yet. But I'm gonna play the Insomniac Spider-Man games one day. I just don't know when, but I'll do them. It does take place in my hometown, New York, and Coney Island I know makes an appearance, so I'm excited for that. Imagine Jack was the rat. Yeah. Spec Ops The Line, yes, 100% I would do a playthrough of that one. Your Henry lore video is 50,000, and yeah, those fake cops are definitely Falcone's guys, especially how obsessed Falcone's with being the sole drug kingpin. Yeah. So did you guys agree with me on that? That it was that the corrupt cops, the fake, or I shouldn't call them corrupt cops, the fake cops. Did you guys agree with me that the fake cops were Falcone's people? It pretty much is that there's no one else that it could have been. I'm pretty confident it was Falcone's people. Battlefield 6 is okay, yeah. Yeah, but Arthur did change because of that also, Minion. Walk up to someone and say, I'm going to put some dirt in your eye, and see if anyone gets the reference. The thing about Spider-Man 3 is, when that movie came out, that movie, like, there was people hated so many things in that movie. Like, people hated the evil Peter Parker stuff. Like, they just found it cringe. Like, the dancing and, the stuff like that. But then it all became giant memes. Like, years later, it was like 10 years later, it started becoming memes. And, like, people were just making ridiculous memes. It was like, Bully Maguire. That's what people started calling it. And it just, that was just, it got really funny.
Good Lord above.
Damn it all! Go get fucked!
I think Joe's death was faked. Kakador, if I'm reading your name correctly. I thought some of the memes were really funny, like Bully Maguire vs. Thor and Bully Maguire vs. Thanos. Those were hilarious. Hey, I'm Pro. I'm from Canada. Thoughts on us not having the First or Second Amendment and no stand your ground or castle law? I will say about this is the previous, and without making any names because I don't want to speak on the politics. I only speak on the gun issue. The previous prime minister, that really unpopular guy in Canada, he made a promise where it was like 10 or 15 years ago. He said, the government of Canada is not coming for your guns. We will never ban guns. And then during his time as prime minister, he outlawed every single handgun. So all handguns are essentially banned right now in Canada. The few people that still have handguns in Canada, they can keep them, but then they can't give them to anyone else. Their kids, their grandkids, no one. So pretty much after this generation, that has handguns, passes away, handguns are pretty much going to be extinct in Canada, at least legal handguns. And now the government is banning all of these guns in Canada, like these semi-automatic rifles. It's stupid. I watched a video from this one Canadian YouTuber where he talked about his M1 carbine, which was like a World War II M1 carbine. This is a historical gun, like a gun that survived. And he said this gun survived the Pacific, but now it's going to be destroyed by the Canadian government, and that's it's just stupid by stuff like that. Imagine surviving the battlefields of the Pacific. And then that gun, ending up in the civilians' hands, after the war, who, likes it and, keeps it as a prized possession, cleans it, takes care of the gun, and then for the Canadian government to just confiscate it and just destroy it just because it looks evil. That's stupid. Will they take guns from their homes? Well, the Canadian government is giving people three choices. The first choice is you hand over the gun and they do a buyback, but it's not a buyback, it's a confiscation because they don't even give you the exact value of the gun. The second one is that you can have the gun deactivated, which basically ruins it because it can never be used again. And then the third thing is you do nothing and then you get 10 years in prison. So that's it. So people that aren't doing anything wrong are being treated like hardened criminals. These guns were legal beforehand, and now people are being treated like hardened criminals for that. It's stupid. Have you ever watched Rick and Morty? No. Not really. I know the show, but I never really watched it. Brandon, can you get your heist ready, by the way? I'll help you with your heist after this. Have I don't like people who want to cancel Tesla for political BS. I didn't see anyone want to cancel Mercedes-Benz and Porsche for helping the Nazis. And that is a good point here. Is that the thing is trying to blame like the car company Tesla for like what its CEO is doing. I think it's like stupid, or like hating people who drive Teslas is stupid. What people don't understand is that these car companies like Mercedes, BMW, these companies and Porsche, these companies did some pretty bad things during World War II. A lot of people don't know that. Like Mercedes used slave labor in their factories during World War II. So like they used concentration camp prisoners to build vehicles during World War II, and it's not just the German companies. The Japanese companies are also evil. Like Mitsubishi built most of the Japanese planes during World War II that bombed like cities in China. So that's what I'll say is Mitsubishi used Korean slave labor. They kidnapped women from Korea and then used slave labor, forced them to basically build airplanes. So that's what I will say about Chaz. I just mentioned that. So that's what I'll say is that there are a lot of companies like people say Tesla's an evil company, but they don't know that a lot of these companies like a lot of these other car companies, they did way worse things than Tesla. Way worse things. So somebody saying that Tesla is an evil company, but then supports these other companies, it is kind of hypocritical. I agree with you. Yeah, Japan only Japan there was only 1 or 2 Korean women still alive that were used as slave labor in Japan, and the South Korean government demanded reparations from the Japanese government to those survivors that were still alive. And do you know what the Japanese government did? They gave those women each $1. Like, I'm not joking on this. They literally, so like imagine being like a Korean woman, like a teenager, like a young adult, being kidnapped from your home, forced into like a Mitsubishi factory to build Japanese warplanes, used as slave labor, possibly raped by Japanese soldiers, and then only for decades later, when the Japanese government finally apologizes for it, they only give you $1 for that. Like, imagine that. That's just disgusting. Well, that was what the Japanese government, what they said? They said the reason that they only gave them $1 was because that's how much workers got paid back then. But $1 in 1940 was worth way more than $1 today. And it's not just, they shouldn't just be paid an actual wage. They should be paid, millions of dollars after what they went through. They got kidnapped, used as slave labor. But that's what the Japanese government did, and that they just insulted those survivors. That's what I say. It's disgusting. So and that's the thing is that's what that whole trade war was. So if you guys remember, there was a trade war going on between South Korea and Japan a couple years ago. Like, there was this big trade war going on, and like the media was like really stupid, because the media was saying, South Korea starts trade war with Japan. Like, the media kept saying like South Korea starts trade war. South Korea did not start that trade war. That was Japan that started it. South Korea put tariffs on Japan. And the reason they put tariffs on Japan is because they got pissed about literally what Japan was doing. Japan did not want to apologize to these Korean slave victims, and they didn't want to give them proper reparations for what they went through. And so South Korea was fully justified in getting pissed off at Japan and putting tariffs on all their goods. So like literally Korea was in the right. The stupid media constantly kept saying, South Korea starts trade war, when it was really Japan that caused that whole thing. That's what I'll say about that. Well, yeah, if Enzo arrived in Empire Bay, Leo would have definitely given him a spot in the family. And the thing about this is Leo probably would have respected Enzo's wishes to not be involved in the mafia anymore, and he probably would have given him some kind of legal job, like some kind of job where he can make legal money without having to hurt somebody, like a job as a bartender in one of their bars or something. Like, I'm sure Leo would have helped Enzo with that out. So yeah, if Enzo came to Empire Bay, I'm sure Leo would have helped him find a legitimate job. I'm sure he would have done that for him. Oh, yes, Cesare was just an asshole, yeah. No problem, mister. What made a difference in the Underground Railroad? You're talking about the Underground Railroad in the, before the Civil War and during the Civil War? Well, people, like, the Underground Railroad was a network of people that would help slaves escape slave states. That's what the Underground Railroad was. It was a group of people that would help escape slaves, get out of those slave states, and escape the free states. And the thing is, what the people the people in the Underground Railroad are all heroes, because what the people in the Underground Railroad were doing was even illegal in the North states. Like, even if you were in a free state, helping a slave from even and this is what people don't know, is that there was no in a state like New York, for example. New York had no did not have slavery in, like, the 1850s. Didn't have slavery for decades before that. But if you, like, if there was, like, a slave that escaped from South Carolina, right, and you helped them get to New York, you could be arrested for that in New York. So even though New York was, like, a free state and did not have slavery, helping, like, an escaped slave from, like, a southern state was still illegal at that time. So that's what is that was illegal, and that was the Fugitive Slave Acts. And the Fugitive Slave Acts, they were basically these laws that said that federally, if you helped, like, an escaped slave, you could be charged for that. So the people that worked on the Underground Railroad, they were heroes, and they took, like, massive risks, helping people, like, get to freedom.
Orders to shoot on sight, because you're about to get a close-up view. I hope you're ready. That's the entrance. Follow the tunnel. It'll take you right down till you're on the same level.
Yeah, Soviet man, I can add you a little bit later today.
Just a medium-sized explosion away from the vault.
I've never seen a guy wearing a hockey mask and a suit with so much knowledge. Well, thank you. Oh, wait, Brandon, Brandon, make sure you put on fidelity mode.
Plant the explosive and let her rip.
Check that you have fidelity mode on, Brandon. If I have time, I can do a Battlefield 6 review, but I can't promise it, because I have so many other projects, and I have to finish Mafia 3 before Liberty City Stories comes out, so I gotta, get through that, or Liberty City Stories anniversary is. The reason, for people wondering why we're putting on fidelity mode, it's because fidelity mode helps to prevent that glitch where you get stuck in the man trap, that really annoying glitch. Crap, Brandon, quick. Oh, crap, crap, crap. Hope I don't get... Okay, shot. Okay, good. Who do I think is the greatest military mind in history? You mean the smartest general that has existed in history? Probably Napoleon. Napoleon Bonaparte. Dictator of France. He was probably the smartest, military commander out there. Does GTA explain what happened to Cipriani at the end? A little bit. We know that he survived. We know he most likely took over the Leone family.
Oh yeah, that's what we like to see. And hey, presto! See the artwork? It's worth more than its weight in gold. Cut it out of the frame and pack it up. I'll keep you updated on the gas, or more precisely, the excruciating and the irreversible nerve agent. There's only so long our hacking team can delay it. And trust me, when that timer runs out, you're gonna want to be long gone. There's a set of lockboxes in here. Drill them if you've got the time, but I can't promise you there'll be anything good inside.
You know what I really wish? I really wish you could pick up other, you could pick up the stuff while this thing is burning. But you can't. That's what's so stupid about this, but it should let you. Well, the UK lost all of its colonies at the end of World War II. That is true. Pretty much the majority of them. Yeah, but it's not worth it drilling the safety deposit box. It's worth it getting the actual loot. But it would make aggressive heist more worth doing if you could actually pick up the loot while it's burning the charges, because you could multitask. What do you mean, D? You gotta Can you explain a little bit more? Oh, this is the manhunt poster here. What are you gonna have for dinner, Pro? I'm not sure yet. I'll have to look.
There's still some rich pickings in there. Seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds left. Don't dawdle.
Isn't overdraft when you have like when you spend more money in your bank account and you actually have it and the bank covers the difference and they charge you it.
10 seconds. That's it. Get the hell out of there or you're dead.
Hold on, Alexis. I'll answer your question in detail in a moment. Let me just drill these boxes because I gotta get out of this vault quickly before this. There we go. Nice. Okay. Okay, let me read your question now. Hey Pat, would you say signing your kid up for a Section 529?
To sync your keycard swipes on the way out too.
Oh. Okay, would you say signing up your kid for a 529 college savings plan is a bad idea if you live in a state that has free...
Are you seriously screwing this up? Just count or something.
Oh, crap. Hang on. Let's swipe this together. Well, I don't necessarily think that college is worth it. You know, you don't need it to succeed in life. I mean, it does have its benefits, sure, but I don't think you even need it to succeed. But I actually don't even know what a Section 529 college savings plan is. I actually don't even know what that is, honestly. Favorite pizza?
Relax once you've made it to the top of the shaft.
Probably just pepperoni. Come on. Oh my god, I hate it when the NPCs do that. When they'll just rush you and like get behind your cover really quick like that. I really hope that in GTA 6 this crap does not happen. Where they like the NPCs just rush you like this and also they take like a bunch of shots. I wish the combat was more like GTA 4. Brandon, cover me.
Partial print tiles and move them to match the fingerprint on screen. Once you've made your choice, run the simulation and see how it stacks up. I guess you can take as long as you need. It's not like we have the element of surprise to worry about anymore.
Favorite food to order? Sushi, probably. Yeah, sushi, I'd probably say. You see how good I'm doing this, guys? I have no life. That's how good I am at this.
Home stretch. I feel so alive. I even think my eczema's clearing up.
It should be the child's decision if they want to go to college or not. And I agree with you 100%, Christine. But the problem is that the so many parents just want to force college on their kids when they don't necessarily want to go there.
You know what they say? In the event of emergency, leave all valuables behind and do not use the elevators. Oh well, never mind. We've got some heavy chatter on the police frequencies. Sounds like you're sending news. You can parachute from the roof deck. Just get there.
Oh, hell. Shit.
I really hope I don't regret this. Oh, crap. Oh my god, damn. I hate that. I hate how it takes him like 10 minutes to get off the hacking keypad. That was my bad. I shouldn't have tried to hack that in the meantime. I should have done that. Like, I wish that you could just instantly get out of the hack. Like, you could instantly get out of it. I hate that crap happens like that. No, Brandon, go for the cash. It's fine. What's your ideal country from history? Like a country I think was like good but didn't exist, didn't end up lasting. The first French Republic, like after the French Revolution, like I think France was like a much better place during the French Republic, but before all the psycho stuff started happening, before you had the Reign of Terror and before you had Robespierre. But like the first French Republic was generally like a good country. It unfortunately did not last, but it was that was it. It's probably the first French Republic.
You know what they say? In the event of emergency, leave all valuables behind and do not use the elevators. Oh well, never mind. We've got some heavy chatter on the police frequencies. Sounds like they're sending noose.
Oh my god, not again. I'm getting this. I think I got rapid fire glitched there. I think that's. Oh, I didn't know about that one. Then Alex's. But the child should decide if they want to go to college or not. That's the thing is. Because some parents create a college fund for their child, but then their child doesn't want to go to college. I feel stupid. I'm the one that's failing. I'm failing pretty badly today. I'm not doing good in the heist today.
Some help!
Okay, this hacking tool is going to spoof the fingerprint scanner. Select the partial print tiles and move them to match the fingerprint on screen. Once you've made your choice, run the simulation and see how it stacks up. I guess you can take as long as you need. It's not like we have the element of surprise to worry about anymore.
Oh wait, not this one.
I even think my eczema's clearing up.
It's this one. What's my favorite game back in the day? On the PlayStation 1, it would probably be Mega Man Legends. When I was a kid, I played Mega Man Legends so much. Windows has been hit, yeah.
You know what they say?
I think the other line is when the guy's like, I'm an effing Marine, like he says that. That's
Use the elevators.
very common line he says.
Never mind. We've got some heavy chatter on the police frequencies. Sounds like they're sending noose. You can parachute from the roof deck. Just get there.
Shield yourself! Keep me covered!
Don't tell me he's... Okay, this is BS. This is... You got shot in the neck with an M60. No.
I need a medic!
You know, you're not getting up from that.
Drop you!
I really hope the AI isn't like this in GTA 6. Like, this is...
Get a job! We got a man! Hands up! I'm changing clips! Fall behind! Show's over! Clown!
This guy. This was the guy who got me last time. Screw this guy. Okay. Okay, I really hope no one shows up now. Oh no. Brandon, please kill this guy. Let's see here, this one. Yeah, it might be more of a hybrid of instead of an M60. You are right. I've gotten tricked by clickbait when I was younger, sure, but I don't, fall for that stuff anymore today. Okay, we're good. If you get shot in the neck, you can't survive from that. It depends on where you get hit. Because if you get grazed in the neck, you can survive. But if you get shot directly in the neck, yeah, probably not going to survive.
You fucked with the wrong soldier! He's down!
Brandon, this way. How am I liking Battlefield 6? It's good. Yeah, the multiplayer is, the best Battlefield multiplayer played since Battlefield 1.
Getaway cars, go! The driver has them in position.
Damn, die, NPCs.
Piece of shit! Gotcha 6!
Okay, Brandon, run. Can you please mute Lester? I could, yeah. It gets annoying.
Okay, the decoys are go. They're splitting up to cover it. Now's your chance. We have a clean
Okay,
car
thank you,
all lined up.
Brandon.
Just don't let them see you switch.
Where is the clean card here? Okay, you marked it for me.
Wow, we really kicked the hornet's nest. It's amazing how fast the police response time is when the guy calling 911 is a billionaire. Or should I say, ex-billionaire after his next insurance premium comes through. Economic justice is a beautiful thing. Just got word from the decoy. We don't have long for them to tap out.
Oh, you saw that, guys? You saw that? That was close.
Decoy is out. You're on your own now.
Brandon, we're not gonna go for the decoy car. I got an idea instead. Hiding right here. Let's see if this works. Oh, crap. Didn't expect him to drive on the dirt road in there. You know one thing I don't like about the police in this game? What I don't like about the police in this game is that if you, if your map is not blue, like they don't know exactly where you are, they're still, if you stop somewhere, they'll stop, and they'll look around in that area. They will literally look around in that area, and they'll try to find you. So, like, it's like they still know you're there, which they shouldn't.
I'm not one to be premature. I'm not whatever they told you, but hear me when I say.
Let me mute Lester. Yeah. Yeah, no Lester in GTA 6. Yeah, we can do that, Brandon. The map always disappears for some reason here. Like, when you're approaching the point. I guess it's not doing it now, but usually that happens where it disappears for like a moment. Okay, so I'll answer a few questions here before I go. Is Roman surviving canon? I think it is. Yeah, it makes more sense with Nico's moral choices. Is there anything you guys want to ask me before I go? I'll answer a few questions. What's your ideal foreign policy? Non-interventionism. What GTA Online characters would you like to see in GTA 6? GTA Online characters. Specifically from GTA Online. Don't know, I'd have to think about that one. Can you add me, please? I'll add you a little bit later, Lundo, yes. Pavo, yeah, they could bring him back. I was thinking about maybe making like a video one day, Carlos, the top 5 most evil, corrupt cops in video games. And like I could make a list, and like Tenpenny, Sheriff Beaumont could be on that list. It would be like, you know, Pendrew from Sleeping Dogs could be on that list too. People told me that in the Yakuza games there's like a really evil, corrupt cop, so I gotta get to that point in the Yakuza games too to see that. But I could do a video, maybe like a lore video, top 5 most evil, corrupt cops in crime games, and like I saw a video of a guy locking up dogs in his basement with dirty water and poop everywhere. Oh my god. Oh, Damon Gant. How could I forget him? Damon Gant in Ace Attorney. Yes, really corrupt cop, too. You also forgot, what's his name? What's that other corrupt cop's name in the Ace Attorney series? The other one, what's his name? The musician cop. The guy who plays at the rock concert. He was Christoph's or who was it? Yeah, no, not in Apollo Justice. What was the name of that corrupt cop in Apollo Justice? The punk rock musician cop. That guy. I forget his name. Darian Crescent. Yes, him. He was also corrupt. Yeah, how could I forget him too? Yeah, there's the bomb expert is also corrupt too. Yeah, that one too. I could choose one corrupt cop from the Ace Attorney series, but if I had to choose one corrupt cop from the Ace Attorney series to be on that list of like top 5, because the Ace Attorney games are crime games. They are games that revolve around crime. But a crime game isn't necessarily a game where you play as a criminal. It's a game where it centers around crime, and that's what Ace Attorney does. But yeah, Damon Gant is the most evil corrupt cop in the Ace Attorney series. I would say that. Yeah, he's a corrupt police chief in Ace Attorney, in the third Ace Attorney game. Which one, D? Good stream, thank you, April. Why doesn't the U.S. military get rid of the Mexican cartel when they're a threat to North America? Well, they are. They've blown up a few cartel ships in the ocean right now, but the U.S. military can't do anything if they're in Mexico, because Mexico is a sovereign country. And most of the cartel is in Mexico. Oh, yeah, right. L.A. Noire has some corrupt cops, too. Yep. No, I never glitched for money in GT Online. The only glitch I've ever done in GT Online is I did the glitch where get a hat and a mask. Because I wanted to make some custom outfits. That was it. I never did money glitches. How much do you think the mansion will cost? I think if you have at least $10 million, you'll be good. So if you have $10 million on this game, I think it'll be plenty to buy the next update. The last few updates haven't been that expensive. So, yeah. I'll look at it a little later, Brandon. 250 likes, yep. But I guess we will be going here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you guys enjoyed the stream, do drop a like. It does help me out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope that you guys all have a great Sunday night. And I will have another part of Mafia 3 up for you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.